Once again, that time has come here, courtesy of the Simpleman's brand that brings you to the predicting as we continue to elevate the discussion for the first time and maybe going forward. Welcome to the special crossover worldwide internet live edition across the media for City Predicting as we come together to discuss NJPW, AEW, CNL, and Stardom colliding underneath the third annual Forbidden Door. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another edition of Super Predicting. You know what this is, for I am the simple man of the simple brand and the voice of the Jam Man, forever great for professional wrestling. Damn it. And my name is Noel Foster. With me, as always, is my friends of the multiverse and Super Predicting community. I have, of course, with me the man whose name is literally on the marquee, Jeff Mother Beep and Meacham. My color ass in all things non-WWE, James Hebert. My friend in all things predicting, representing the four horsemen of predicting. Shout out to Mark Griffith and Jeff Chowick. Hope you're doing well, Jets. Christopher Rotz. And last but certainly not least, he is the renegade that bears the weekly Saturday Night Shenanigans. My colorist in all things WWE at his NXT, the Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams. Before we find out how everybody's doing, I want to first thank everybody once again for tuning in. Hope you enjoy the conversation, discussion, and predictions. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. And again, if you want to dictate the conversation, don't need to dictate here at the channels of the multiverse of media. Super chat, it's as simple as that. And please avoid using spoilers for SmackDown and Rampage. Dear God, if we do go that long, because I know sometimes it can be a bit chaotic here. So please remain on topic and just have fun along with us in the predictions. So that being said, let's go around and get everybody's initial thoughts before we get right into it. I'm just going to go right around the clock, starting with the gentleman right over here. Jeff, good to see you. Welcome back to City Predicting. It's been a while. And again, this might be a first of many to come. How are you? And how you feeling about the door coming Sunday night?
I am doing as bad as good as I can, considering I got in late, woke up late, and the Garcia twins do not mess around with their alcohol intake. I love those girls. I miss those girls, seeing them all the time. God bless their hubbies in San Francisco tonight, because they're going to be part of their show too. So, Bryan, we need you on Sunday. Behave yourself. Artem, Nicole Bree, y'all do you, like whatever. But Bryan, we need your ass on Saturday, on Sunday. So please behave. It was a fun night last night. Fun day. Having Maven on Jack of all trades yesterday, doing the show with the Garcia twins and the Lawrence brothers. Whoa! And Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, along for the ride too. It was good to see Nick. Good to see Britt. She's ready for a comeback. I'll tell you what. I wish she was working Sunday. Man, she looks ready to go. Looking forward to this. I'm gonna get the graphics. I realize I don't have the match graphics. I'm gonna go get those, and I'll be back when you guys are done.
All right, fair enough. Well, that being said, thank you, Jeff, and it's good to know that the doctor's in good spirits. I hope to see her again soon alongside the Killer, because I think AEW certainly could use the Killer and the Pure. I'm sure people always appreciate Jeff Meacham Never Motivate engaging with the man of many interpretations and impersonations, James Hebert. James, good to see you once again. How are you? How you feeling about this Sunday's pay-per-view, my friend?
Sorry. I had an issue with my microphone. I am doing good, sir. As far as
botch.
Yeah, there's the botch.
Two botches so far for those that are tracking.
I am looking
one botch.
One botch.
Two botch.
I'm doing good. It's been a very nice day for a change, and not been getting the California weather that has just been sleeping the nation for whatever reason.
Right.
We've finally gotten out of that heat wave, so pretty nice day, nice summer day. As far as Forbidden Door is concerned, I look forward to AEW pay-per-views like I always do, for the match quality and nothing more, because if you try to look into it any other way, you lose enjoyment out of what they give you. So that's kind of how I have to look at this now when it comes to AEW shows, because long-term story has died since 2021. 2022, excuse me. After
a couple underline long, and I think there's one long that's definitely going to be talked about here when we get to it. But I respect your interpretation on enjoying the product and the workers within it. And again, it's going to be fun to call this stuff for your Sunday, as always. Chris, good to see you once again. I see you're already thinking as you usually do, because you're nonstop predicting like me. You're almost as crazy as me, to the point I almost feel like you could start your own channel here on YouTube. Maybe something to consider. But how you feel about Forbidden Door this Sunday, my friend?
I'm looking forward to Forbidden Door on Sunday. I'm going to give this show a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's going to be an exciting event. I'm looking forward to Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay on Sunday. That should be a banger of a match.
One banger.
And I'm going to say this. I can't wait to talk about predictions with you guys. And always say yeah to NoDQ.com. And good luck to everybody that are still competing in the AEW Predictions League.
Amongst one of 5 leagues that I'm literally tracking this year. Thank you, everybody who's been engaging in any of them. And again, I hope that you continue to just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. It's all for fun at the end. Well, thank you for that, Chris. Always appreciate you. And last but certainly not least, of course, my color analyst in all things WWE and NXT, but also he's engaged in all elite wrestling to a degree. And I'm sure he has some thoughts regarding some stuff, particularly here ahead of Sunday's pay-per-view. So that being said, again, JJ, as we always do, good to see you. How you feeling about this year's Forbidden Door, courtesy of NJPW and AEW and partners?
Well, for starters, congratulations on getting John Cena on the show, as we can't see 2 of our panelists.
Yeah, right.
But I digress there. You know, much
my
to
avatar
James's
smartass.
point, much to James's point, it's like AEW always delivers when it comes to matches. It's just making us give a shit about the matches that they seriously lack in. But as I pointed out to Jeff on our booking of Forbidden Door earlier, Forbidden Door is the one show a year that you can kind of get away with it. Because you're opening up the door to so many other companies, it truly should be the proverbial clash of the champions. Your best against my best. And let's just leave it all in the ring and see who is the best.
Damn right.
So I can kind of forgive the lack of storylines to a degree in a show like this, as opposed to the other, 52 weeks of television that AEW puts on. Chris, I feel, is a little bit optimistic. I give this a 6. Okay. I give this a 6 because of the fact that they haven't made me care about most of these matches. I know they'll deliver, but I don't care.
Yeah, you got basically, the topping, but you don't have the essence within it. It's like a pizza without sauce or, all the toppings.
It's a milkshake with only the whipped cream and no ice cream base.
Yeah, you might as well just literally be eating the Cool Whip out of the tub with a spoon, which I've done in the past.
I was going to say, I think all of us are guilty of that at some point. So,
well,
or spraying it out of the can.
Look, I'm trying to be better. My sister got me 12 of these shakes. I'm on the 8th one now, 8 days in a row.
Jesus.
Trying to get me to build up muscle mass. So it tastes like a vanilla milkshake too. So I mean, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, I am not a fan of the Cool Whip.
You're not a fan of the Cool Whip?
I'm not a fan of the Cool Whip. Never have been.
Really?
What about Will Wheaton?
Will Wheaton has gotten better since he stopped being a dickhead child star and became a Kings fan.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to go into a sports world. It's going to be a whole different tangent.
No, we're good. No, we're good.
Are you sure?
No.
Positive.
Well, I mean, two-faced.
Reel us in, Noah.
Yeah,
let's not have this turn into 3.5 hours like the impromptu this week did.
Damn it.
Yeah, by the way, God bless JD for enduring Eric's chaos. And I hope everybody did check out of impromptu that I moderated. Dadgummit. Of course, my ATW family, so go check that out. And also, as the gentleman, of course, alluded to, check out the Dash and Always on Wrestling. They fantasy book their own Forbidden Door. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you think about pay-per-view, what's the essence of it? Here you have inter-promotional competition. You don't necessarily need stories. You're just engaged in the action. And to be fair, there is some level of competition in some of these matches that actually do have some more importance. And I do think some more worthwhile investment for professional wrestling fans. So it's one of those things where you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but there still should be something that you can take away by the end of it. So I think without further ado, gentlemen and WWE versus me, a super community and all viewers watching live or on demand too. Let's get right into it. So again, Madman Tony Khan is offering us another monthly pay-per-view. Of course, you guys can watch this on your pay-per-view platforms, including Bleacher Report, Triller TV, DAZN, Dave & Buster's, Nationwide, Sky, Preview.com, internationally. And of course, it is this Sunday night. Sunday night starting 8 p.m. Standard Time with its 0 hour starting 6:30 p.m. Standard Time. As of right now, there is 3 matches booked for the 0 hour, and I believe, golly, at least it's single digit, 9 matches booked for the main card. In no particular order, unless we say Producer Man has its own better booking philosophy than Tony Khan and Aubrey Edwards. We're going to get right into it, starting with the 0 hour, which this match has a bit more of a, I would say, coming of peace, because you have CMLL and AAA working together. And if anyone knows the warfare and the war grounds of Mexico, that's saying some of these 2 promotions. It is the Lucha Brothers teaming with Mystico, who recently got a great win over Zack Sabre Jr., believe it or not, via submission with a Mystica. Taking on Los Ingobernables de Hoppongs, Yoda Titan, and Hiromu Takahashi in 6-person tag team action. This is basically your showcase match for New Japan Pro Wrestling and CMLL, who have been long-term partners in their continued relationship. And of course, AAA now might be joining the fray. Here, I thought I'd never see AAA and CMLL working together. But as far as this match goes, I feel like it's pretty much cut and paste. I mean, literally, Mystico is the odd one out. The only one representing AAA. You have NJPW, who of course now are part of AEW. You have 2 of the men over on the right-hand side with intentions, of course, pursue IWGP Gold. One will be in the G1 Climax. And at this point, I wonder if Rey Fenix and Penta Esther Miyura want to go after the AEW Tag Team Championships, considering who's holding them. But I look at home field advantage here. I think about the stronger unit as a whole. It's hard to argue when it comes to the cohesion of Los Ingobernables de Hopong. I think Titan surprises us and gets the better of Mystico, and we build more off into that as a sub-feud. I'm going to go out a limb here and say that LIJ gets the win. Now, again, we're going to keep this short, sweet, and simple because we got so many matches and people may not know anything about the 0 hour matches or may not have a lot to say. So I'm going with LIJ. So unless we have a disagreement, we'll move on. Otherwise, going once, going twice.
Who's LIJ? I have no idea what that is.
That is Los Ingobernables de Hopong, Yoda Titan, and Hiromu Takahashi. They represent the faction LIJ, New Japan Pro Wrestling, where LIJ is a battleground of faction warfare.
I disagree then. I think this is going to go to the Lucha Brothers and Sin Cara.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you got to figure the Lucha Brothers are the AEW talent. Yes, they may be affiliated with another promotion. Yes, they may have made their name elsewhere prior to coming to AEW, so they're not technically homegrown. But the Lucha Brothers have been there, from what I know, pretty much since the inception of the company.
Correct.
And I know that there's the question marks surrounding Penta El Cielo Miedo and his contract status. From what I hear, it's supposed to be ending at some point this summer. Got to figure Tony Khan's going to want to entice to try and keep him around. A big victory here on this stage could be exactly what they need to keep him signed and keep him from going to the WWE or back to TNA, where he's a former World Heavyweight Champion.
Yep.
And former TNA Tag Team Champions alongside Rey Fenix. To your point, I just got recently done watching their battles, of course, internal with LAX, led by Conan. And I got to imagine Conan's probably going to have the best interest in this match as well, considering he's the guy that's finally balanced the atmosphere in AAA.
Plus, you've got Rey Fenix, and granted, I don't watch Rampage Collision. I don't know if he's had his Owen match, but he's a part of the Owen tournament. So a big victory here gives him momentum going into his tournament match.
Yeah.
Well,
you don't want him to lose, with the tournament match looming. Right. And again, if it happens tonight, I don't want to know. Don't spoil for me. But
I'm not.
This is where my mentality is in this whole thing. You've got 1/3 in the tournament. You've got 1/3 whose contract is looming, and then you've got a lucha legend like Mystico. And considering that you've finally been able to bring AAA and CMLL together, why would you have them job out when you've created something monumentous like this? Yeah. I'm going with the Luchas and Mystico.
Okay, well, that's quite actually fair. And James, I saw you had your hand down. We'll go to Chris real quick here to give his thoughts since we are 1-1. Surprised I got a little bit to step up. Go ahead, James.
I will say, Chris, keep in mind, you don't have, if you agreed with one or the other, you could just be quick on that.
I'm going to ask because I feel like these matches here just need a back and forth from one argument to an argument. So it's just a matter of what side you agree with and just leave it simply as that as we move forward. So
I agree with JJ. I also want to just straight up say that my only comment really, the fact that AAA and CMLL can coexist under the same roof is
massive
godsend, because that was like, and by the way, I'm just gonna point this out. If AAA and CMLL can do it, and they've been feuding for God knows how goddamn long, you bet your bottom dollar that it can happen with WWE and AEW at this point. I'm not counting anything out anymore in the wrestling industry if that can happen.
I was just going to say the same thing, James.
Because
you can thank Rocky Romero, by the way, for that, who's not only a second-hand member of the board in AEW, he also is part of the board in New Japan Pro Wrestling alongside President Ace.
And it's something that Conan has definitely tried to do for a very long time. So I'm sure Rocky had the same idea. So shout out to both Rocky and Conan for being able to pull that together and make it work. It was probably going to happen at some point anyway, but I think the fact that you had two guys that highly respected each other's work that are also kind of in the management status for one or more companies definitely helped push that forward. So I'm just glad to see it. That's really all I had to say on that front. Just that match alone is very historic, even if it is a buy-in match.
Yeah, like I said, the buy-in I have thoughts, but I do understand the circumstances when it comes to what some of these matches represent and what they mean going forward, not just in AEW, but honestly in interpromotional relationships. And this one at the forefront here is the biggest obstacle overcome overall. And I would think Lucha Libre / Mexican wrestling here.
That's yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. If anybody knows anything about that, it's the man on the marquee right here. He probably knows all about the rivalry, even if it's on a casual basis.
Well,
because they have been feuding
forever. I'm pretty sure Conan can tell us verbatim about that a lot too on his podcast, Keep It at 100, that I do sometimes listen to. I remember he once asked me if I listened to it. Yes, I do, hombre. That being said, all right, Chris, real quick, what's your pick right here? Just so we even it out here. We got 2 LIJ, we got 2 for AEW and the CMLL cohesion. What's your pick?
My pick is I got Mystico and Lucha Brothers.
All right, fair enough. And Jeff, who stepped away for a moment, don't know if he's still here or if he's still doing stuff in the background. But Jeff, if you're there, what's your thoughts on this match before we move into the next one at 0 hour?
I forgot I was muted. I was solidly convinced that the Japanese contingent would win, but JJ sold me. He changed my mind. So I'm going with Lucha Brothers and Mystico here.
It's just one of those things, though, where I consider, again, the circumstances of AEW and NJPW and which side maybe wins more here, where you can almost think underline, like which company or which alliance has the stronger, workforce / professional wrestlers. I figure, you kick off giving the win to NJPW while you do have this collaboration. Again, LIJ is a complete unit. So right now I'm sticking with mine. So I guess I'm the odd one out so far. 1 outro matches in. Ain't that something? All right, good opening chat. I'm not going to do the something given because we're not talking about TNA. We'll talk more about that at Slammer Adversary. And again, matter too, the forum will be live, of course, in the comment section after this stream concludes, as well as my community tab and social media platforms as well, as the All Elite League does continue. All right. Yes. That being said, that's 1 0 hour match down. Again, the 0 hour will start 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I imagine action will start 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday night. We go from NJPW to Stardom, who of course now is a partner in the Bushi Road with NJPW, and this also has Owen momentum implications. It is Willow Nightingale teaming alongside the person she recently faced prior to Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship in their home territory of Stardom. Kawhi, the cutest of the Cosmos, leader, of course, well, actually co-leader of now the new group Exodus Nexus Venus, former leader of Cosmic Angels, Tam Nakano. And she is tagging alongside Little Nightingale to take on this duo of power and attitude. Y'all know that stat where it's at. We got Chris Statlander team alongside who used to be Queen's Quest. Queen's Quest no longer a thing. Now part of Oedo Tai, and the former second longest reigning Wonder of Stardom champion, Momo Watanabe. And Momo is no friend to Tam Nakano. Virtually, she's no friend to anybody, because if you work with Oedo Tai, you're working with anarchy. So, simply put, at the forefront, you, of course, have the 5-Star Grand Prix coming up. That's Stardom's form of their own ultimate tournament to see who could challenge for the red belt, the World Stardom Championship, later this year at Dream Kingdom. That's their form of the G1, for those that don't know. Again, I watch all things wrestling. So consider yourselves getting educated here tonight and definitely during the show this Sunday. But anyway, Tam Nakano and Nine give mutual respect for each other after they went one-on-one for the TBS Championship. Willow and Chris, of course, are going to face each other this coming Wednesday on Dynamite at Beach Break to move forward on the Owen. Willow Nightingale, of course, previous winner of the Owen last year. Chris Statlander, newfound attitude, looking to make her way, punch her ticket to Wembley. So that being said, you wonder who needs the momentum going into this match Wednesday, where Willow's been looking to get her hands on Chris since that betrayal at Double or Nothing. It's one of those things where it's almost like at this point, it's going to come down to which Stardom person gets pinned by the other. The Babe with the Powerbomb by Momo Watanabe or Chris Statlander Discus Larius Tam Nakano back to Stardom. I'm kind of torn right here, so I'm not going to start this one off as again, we're going to go clockwork style here. So Jeff, buttons on you first. Which duo do you have winning, and which participant do you see getting momentum ahead of their match with the Owen this Wednesday? Willow and Tom or Chris and Momo? Hello.
Jeff? Hello? Jeff?
Where'd
Jeff go?
He's gone.
Am I here? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, you're there.
There you are.
Okay, damn thing. All right, hang on. Hello.
It's all right,
Okay.
Hey,
Again, we are booking on the fly, folks. So I really think that because of the nature of the feud, I think that Willow's going to be the ultimate winner of the program with Chris. So I think that Chris needs the initial win here. For that purpose, for the purposes of the Owen, I see her going farther. So I think that Chris Statlander and her partner will have the initial win here in this first of hopefully many, because I think her and Willow are just a great pair of opponents. They do so well together, working as a team or against each other. So I'm here for every bit of it.
Yeah, Chris Statlander and Will Nightingale is as good as Queen Aminata and Sky Blue when it comes to their cohesion in the ring and their storytelling and mutual respect for one another outside the character showcasing. Try and literally see beyond the character, folks, just saying. And again, some of my favorites I've seen rise through AEW. So that being said, Jeff set the floor with Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe. Does everybody agree, or do we have a disagreement here before we move on? Go, wow, everybody. Well, James, I saw your hand first, so James, you're next. Go ahead.
It's not even a disagreement on Jeff's end, but I do also want to point out on the Stardom end. Jeff had to leave because he got a call. Clearly, that's always fair. This is he always has an issue with that. Stop calling him when he's in the middle of a show. God damn it.
Thankfully, someone else could definitely work the producer role if need be. Otherwise,
I mean, there's two of them in here right now.
Go ahead, James.
my thing with this is to add to Jeff's point. The two Momo and Tam, they actually have a bit of a feud. If I have even the smallest knowledge of Stardom, so if anybody's taking the pin, it's definitely going to be Tam Nakano, and then he's going to get the that will lead Statlander to probably hit the Big Bang Theory and win the match. I think Tam takes the loss because of some heel shenanigans from Momo. That's how I think that's going to go down, because again, this is actually two singles feuds kind of in this tag team thing going on. So I think it's a pretty smart strategy, and it makes me wonder why that's not main eventing the 0 hour, considering there's two big time singles feuds represented in both, but whatever.
I know why, but we'll get to that when Noah throws to that match.
Yeah, exactly. And I still think that should be somewhere else and someone else should be.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk more about that here in a moment. All right, Chris. Well, so far it is Chris and Momo, but I saw your hand. So are you actually going with the baby faces here? Do you think Willow gets momentum ahead of Wednesday? What's your pick?
I have a gut feeling they're going to give it to Willow, Team Willow Nightingale. on Sunday, which means when we see Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander this coming Wednesday at Beach Break-In, I think Chris Statlander is going to move forward in the Owen Hart. So that is why I think Chris Statlander is going to win on Wednesday. So that's my prediction for Wednesday for AEW. So
We're
yeah,
not talking
Willow.
about Wednesday.
No,
So,
we're
yeah.
just focusing on Sunday. He's trying to.
I think that's what he means, though. That's why he's picking the babyface team.
He's kind of looking at a cause and effect, which I think is a safe bet here. And I think that's kind of what y'all are looking at because, ironically enough, this side right now is saying, based on what happens Sunday, the other wins. So far on this side, we got, based on what happens here, the other side wins as well. But he went with the opposite opposition. And I noticed that a certain gentleman also nodded his head approval. So, JJ, Willow and Tam, please tell.
There's not much more to say. Chris basically said everything I was going to say. I have the exact same logic. Statlander is going to advance in the tournament, so Willow's going to get the victory here.
And I said be in the middleman here to break the tie. I agree with my left side. Yeah, I'm going also with Willow and Tim because at the end of the day, Chris Statlander has adopted this new attitude. Thanks to Stokely Hathaway. You guys got to consider the equalizer, the extra factor here. With Stokely and Chris Statlander's quarter are now influencing the powerhouse of the women's division until Jamie Hayter returns. I think with this new attitude, Chris Statlander needs this momentum and needs this win to at least advance to the finals of the Owen. Again, talk more about that literally later on the different podcast platform. But for me, I think right now with the fact that Willow hasn't gotten her hands on Chris and can't wait to go one-on-one with her again for the, I believe, 4th time now. The love of these to go one-on-one. I think you got to give a little bit of babyface, bright spotlight on the 0 hour to hype people up. And you don't get a cuter, brighter babyface combination right now with AEW and partners than Willow and Tam Nakano. So, yeah, I think right now I got to go with Willow Nightingale and Tam for the win here. But I am definitely looking forward to their match come Wednesday. That being said, yeah, so there's one more match on the 0 hour, and there's no super chat, so I'm not going to rant because I'm a simple man. I try and impose a positive, reinforced environment here. But Jeff or JJ, go ahead and put up the last grabber for the 0 hour here, and let's just go ahead and talk about this because these two deserve better. Damn it. What the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
All right, guys, let's not focus on the booking spot here. Otherwise, we'll be here all night ranting about Tony Khan's booking that makes our head turn sideways more than the freaking coin Two-Face flips in Batman. Mariah May goes one-on-one against Saraya. For those that don't know, the last time these two went one-on-one, to everybody's surprise, Saraya won with the pendulum submission, beat Mariah May. I did not see that coming. Ever since then, Saraya has been a more predominant force to be reckoned with as leader of the Outcast in this continued feud with the timeless entourage. Of course, Harley Cameron will be in Saraya's corner. Gotta wonder if Anna Jay is going to be there now, too. And Mariah May, you gotta wonder if either timeless Toni Storm or Mina Shirakawa will be in her corner, considering what we're going to talk about on the main card. And, of course, this is an opening match in the quarterfinals of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, where facing the winner will face either Diana Perazzo or the Shining Samurai Hikaru Shida. Again, second time ever, one-on-one encounter, the continued war of Outcasts versus Timeless Entourage, but the rise and the creation of a star in Toni Storm's protege. But I also do wonder, how's your head doing, Mariah May? Damn. I'm torn on this one for a couple of reasons because Saraya, again, is literally from the UK, all right? I mean, you think about it again, it'll be another Wembley homecoming. Regardless, I think she is going to be involved with the show. But you want to talk about the fact that there's maybe 3 or 4 long-term stories in AEW? Mariah May's way to the top is one of them. And the only way that continues for me is for her winning. I got Mariah May picking up her win back and somehow moving forward. And I think she does it on her own. Nobody comes to ringside or even hugs her in embrace after she wins. Mariah May, stay on your own. Mariah for the win. So that being said, let's go ahead, take on this graphic and see if anybody has a disagreement before we move on. As King Mike can see in the chat. So again, I picked Mariah May. So we'll see if anyone says Saraya going once, going twice. Wow, unanimous.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, again, Mariah May has been literally next to timeless Toni Storm JJ, I think you could agree, the strongest built competitor and character in the AEW women's ecosystem since the time they came together. So I think it's Mariah May's year this year. And I'm just going to leave it at that because, again, we're not advanced fantasy booking. And that's the zero. I'm going to say this real quick. Why the hell potentially is Chris Jericho going to be on the main card and not this? I'm just saying.
That's the next match I have, and I can't find the graphic for it, so it must not be official yet. But
that's fair.
You know, it's got to come down to the gimmick. Jericho is the king of reinvention. He's the king of taking chicken shit and turned it into chicken salad.
I suppose that's true.
This gimmick has got like some of the most go away heat since freaking X-Pac in the early 2000s. And I love how corny it is.
Yeah.
I just cannot take my eyes off of Jericho. He is so good at being so smarmy.
Well, the thing too is it's just a rehash of what he did in WCW the first time he turned heel in a way. Like it's basically that, but now he's like leading an entourage again.
Like I'm not even gonna front. It gives me Joe Gacy vibes. The learning tree, the schism tree, his followers pledging themselves to him. Think about it, bro. Like it's got that same vibe. And then the creepy, hi guys, hi, I'm here.
I'm waiting for him to go like full like fiend with it and like have an alter ego if you piss him off. I mean, he has the Painmaker. Fuck, never mind.
Let's hire.
Don't book it for him, damn it.
First off, King, you said his name.
Dare you?
How dare you? Blasphemous. He's a disbeliever still. There he is. We all believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah, we all believe in Joe Hendry here. I was going to just say, though, like apples and oranges. Like comparing Joe Hendry.
That's freaking apples and bananas.
Yeah,
right.
Apples and bananas. You ever remember that school?
I remember.
And then everyone remembers.
Smile.
Like putting the lime in the coconut, all the music references involving fruit. Oy vey.
No more lime and coconut. Too much booze. No.
Lime.
No, still hungover. No.
I forgot Coca-Cola did a lime and coconut drink. Now that you reminded me of that. You put the lime in the coconut.
We are not singing that here. No way am I laying that on this platform.
Well, if you want to hear us sing that in August 17th at the beach party, feel free to super chat.
Oh, fuck it.
I forgot about that one. I got to add that to my summer playlist now.
There you go.
Thank you, James.
You're welcome, Jeff.
Damn it, James, you friggin' idiots.
I know.
All right, let's get to the main card, y'all.
All right.
Well, I mean, this is the main card. Jericho and his shenanigans versus Joe and Hook and their shenanigans.
Yeah, for those that don't know, courtesy of No DQ, as reported, spoilers have been, of course, labeled for what happened on Collision as it was recorded, literally following Dynamite, and they did find a partner. Why Murder Grandpa is ready to cut a tree down. I guess that's yet to happen. I'm a little pissed off about that. But yes, we do have the six-man tag. It's the newest trios of killers with Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata taking on the Learning Tree. It's Chris Jericho, the former world champion. Hi, guys. Teaming alongside one-arm bounty hunter Brian Keith, who can't compete because the sour apple lost part of his apple. Thanks to Katsuyori Shibata stomping on his arm. It's like a half apple. And then we got the Redwood that's standing tall, W. Morrissey. So he enlisted the Imperial Unit, NJPW World Television Championship Cobb because nobody in AEW challenged him for his title. So we got a six-man tag here. Like, what the hell's happening?
So with Brian Keith, would he be called a one-armed bandit, or is that too much for this program? Anyway,
I mean, you're not wrong, and he's definitely not out of line. So,
yeah,
I guess here it's going to get a lesson in humiliation, but the question is who at this point, and could this lead to a future NJPW World Television Championship opportunity for the other side if the other side wins? Since these two seem to be very engaged in learning something from this. Let's go ahead and start with JJ, and I know you're feeding into it too. We'll start with JJ since he seems to be part of the Learning Tree's branches, definitely invested in it. JJ, you're boss in the six-man tag. Who you got?
I've got Team Hook.
Oh,
I do too.
I've got Team Hook here because I feel like Jeff Cobb is probably going to be, and it's sad to say it this way, but I feel like he's going to be the weak link.
Yeah.
I think there's not going to be enough cohesion between him and Big Bill and Jericho.
Well, again,
Whereas the other three are a solid unit, as weird as they are to think of. I mean, the Samoan submission machine, who I've been seeing wrestle since he had bleached blonde hair out here in Ultimate Pro Wrestling, the son of an Oompa Loompa, and the dude that makes talk to text one of the most over things as far as a gimmick can go since Timeless Tony.
Yep.
Like, seriously, Shibata's talk to text gimmick is the most over thing next to Toni Storm.
I agree.
That shit is so fucking hilarious.
Oh, brother, this guy sucks.
It's not my turn, but
Go for it.
when Talk to Text and Timeless Tony are the things that are actually over Tony, this is why the ratings were shit last week. But
And the week before that, and the week before that, but
in the week prior
well,
to that.
no. Last week was like, oh shit, hit the panic red button mode low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hey, it's still going. So
it is. God help him.
Yeah. So that being said, I heard James said he's going Russell with the team of killers versus the learning tree and the Imperial unit. Might as well bulldoze the learning tree.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I want to say to that is, like, I think the reason why there's not going to be any cohesion is because, like, Jeff Cobb, you know, look at this and he's going to be yelled at Jericho and he doesn't want to learn shit. And you can just tell by the grumpy look on Jeff Cobb's face, he don't want to learn shit. He's like, you having me fight my fellow Samoan? I hate your ass. I'm going to fucking leave the match.
Either that or Cobb's the one that eats the fall from Shibata, and that's how we get our TV title match.
That's true.
I like that a lot, actually, because why Hook, Shibata, and Samoa Joe, they might be eyeing trios goal for all we know. It's quite a trio when you figure about the dynamic here. I could definitely see Shibata or Joe challenging Jeff Cobb for the World Television Championship.
Dude, the shit-eating grin that he gave, that Joe gave Shibata on Rampage for taking his stick was hilarious. It's like, hey, he did my thing. He did the thing.
He walked all the way as the guy dived up the top rope. He's learning so quickly.
see, and I think Joe will get the pinfall so the Kina TV can get the TV title shot.
Ooh.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, he hasn't done that TV title. That's a fair point.
But I was saying, Andrew World Television Championship.
Joe, yes, please.
15-minute time limit. Jeff Cobb caught up the entire AEW roster. Nobody answered him for the singles challenge. This is the way you finally build a challenger for it here. I think you guys made perfect sense. I think it's going to be unanimous. So that being said, Hook, Shibata, and freaking Samoa Joe for the win. I think that match truly as simple as that. We learned today that we definitely do not exist underneath the learning tree, but the learning tree is going to fall and someone's going to say timber by the end of this six-way dance.
Well, but yeah, but based on the ratings, if the learning tree falls and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Yeah, that's fair.
I never found the answer to that question, and I still wonder, does sound exist if no one's there to hear it?
That's the point of the whole riddle.
That's like age-old question. How many licks does it take to get the San Tootsie Pop? The world may never know because we're not going to buy into it like that stupid owl and break our teeth.
Does one hand actually make a sound when clapping? Can one hand clap? Okay.
Also, technically, and by the way, yes, you can.
Yes, it can.
I'm doing it too. Real quick.
We are all Philly.
We actually got Noah to do it on camera. That's great.
What the hell?
You want to hear sound of one hand clapping? You got to do it like this.
Oh no, that's not that. Jesus Christ!
Like your bone is jarring out of place. What the hell, bro?
Knock that the fuck off!
All right, Ozzy, moving right along.
He's maybe double jointed in his wrist. Dear
God. No.
And by the way, Tootsie Pop with that, you actually can bite down on it if you suck it long enough, but then you have to bite it with your back molars. That's
right, folks. So everybody at home, you can bite down on it after you suck it.
Yeah, of course I had to. Of course.
All right. Speaking of suck, here come the Elite. Hang on.
God. All right. Let me do my shtick.
Oh, wait, no,
No,
James.
you've gotta
James,
predict
James,
the
you're good. No
match,
picture.
James.
You're good. No picture. You're good.
Yeah, about
Okay, cool.
All right.
You don't have to
yeah.
call it, but you have to predict it, James.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
that's the least we want.
Where the
from-
hell is this picture?
Don't
all right.
worry. Don't worry.
Fuck
You're
it.
fine.
I'm not gonna worry about it.
It's probably on NJPW
I don't see the dumbass faces anyway.
All
Like,
right.
I already made you look at them on my card.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know you.
actually booked the Elite on my Forbidden Door.
Hey, the way you booked him was okay by me, though.
All right.
Right.
Basically gonna die.
But that being said, someone's definitely going to enjoy this for a couple of reasons. That person is I, because I'm once again seeing the renewing of Hiroshi Tanahashi and Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada. Corporate Okada, one of the best faces in AEW. Why President Ace, one of the founding fathers in keeping New Japan Pro Wrestling alive and trying to bring it back to promise now as its president. President Ace versus Corporate Okada in 2024, AEW versus New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yep, that's my life, along with others. So yeah, 6-man tag team action. Of course, we have the Elite, Kazuchika Okada and them, the Bucks, taking on, of course, the Acclaim. And I'm sure Daddy Ass won't be too far away. But
He'll be there. Yep.
I almost wonder with Scissor Ace, Jesus, Tanahashi. Tanahashi going up against Okada here, and Okada still being the Continental Champion. Maybe this is the way you build Okada versus Tanahashi for Wembley Stadium for the Continental Championship. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Just saying.
Yes.
So that being said, also, as we know, the Acclaim, if you want to scissor, Chris, they have a tag team championship opportunity yet to be officially announced after beating the Elite. Yeah, hell froze over, folks. In the eliminator match, the challengers actually won. Dun, dun, dun.
So then you have Scissor Ace win, and then they all get their shots at Wembley.
And we see Tanahashi not air guitar concert, but scissor the Acclaim and Daddy Ass for the first time ever, given the most awkward moment in professional wrestling history.
Yeah, Tanahashi doing the scissoring is going to be interesting to have you guys call.
I'm sure. Well, you know what the sad part is? Knowing Tanahashi probably wasn't the first time he scissored.
What the hell did you do that?
Wow.
I'm
Check,
just
please.
saying. I'm just saying.
DoorDash check, please.
Look at his
Yeah.
past relationships. There's a history.
So James has been looking at hentai, I guess. Okay. That being said, that
means
wouldn't
I'm
surprise me
cultured.
from you.
Why am I? Who kicked my avatar?
There's some culture that does not need to be disclosed
Who the hell
on a
changed my
westernized
avatar?
platform.
I changed my avatar only for
The
me.
fuck?
I don't know how it changed yours.
All right. Well, I think this one's also cut and dry. And Chris.
Well, no, not necessarily. So
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. So let's go ahead and let Chris lead this one off, because I think we hurt his brain and hurt his mentality. Chris, tranquilo, stabilize mi hermano. Which side do you have? Do you scissor or do you be with the Elite in this 6-man tag?
What a sentence.
what a hell of a choice.
You guys are just cracking me up tonight, and personally, I'm here for the ride.
Well, this is what you can see
After
every
seeing-
Saturday on the Saturday Night Shenanigans that are open mic night.
Chris,
As I moderate this madness.
Chris, after saying scissoring and hentai, you don't want to say, I'm here for the ride. You don't want to say that.
Shit.
This has been our presentation of Championship on this video. We'll see you tomorrow for open mic night, where it's going to get even fucking worse.
Cut the commercial.
Especially if we can get Keen A-Train to come back.
On it.
Jesus.
Commercial. My kingdom got commercial.
Cut the commercial. Cut the
No, Chris,
Okay.
give your thoughts, please.
Okay, yeah, let's seriously. Go
Well,
ahead.
my thoughts here. It should be a fun match.
Ugh.
I feel since the Acclaim are getting their tag team championship match at a later date, we don't know when. I just feel in a way, as of now, I could always change my pick before Sunday.
Predictions will be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday night. Continue.
I have a gut feeling Scissor Ace is going to get the win here, and I'm going to tell you this. I think the Elite is going to, when we get to that tag team match down the road, the Elite are going to retain the tag team champions. But I'm looking at Wembley Stadium. I don't think the Acclaim and the Elite go to Wembley for the tag team champions. I personally believe we're gonna get the Elite defending the AEW War Tag Team Championships against a rumor tag team in Motor City Machine Guns.
I like that crossover fantasy booking, but again, only time will tell. So, good job, Chris. All right, so he went with Scissor Ace. That being said, does anyone else believe in the Ace of the Universe and want to scissor? And again, if you enjoy this promotion, find your partner and scissor them and then have an air guitar battle with them. This is a PSA message courtesy of the Simple Man that is scissoring everybody here on this panel because it sounds like it's unanimous. So unless somebody else has a disagreement, we will move on, going once, going twice. The scissors have it. Okay, so it's unanimous.
I disagree with me scissoring, but I'm picking them to win.
Fair enough.
Saying.
You don't have to scissor if you don't need to, all right? But let's
don't put words in my mouth or anything else.
Scissor me, Daddy Meech.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God! never call him Daddy Meech again.
Daddy Meech.
Oh my
What the
God.
fuck? That sounds like some Josh Mansfield shit right there.
Yeah,
That was the point of it.
Just like Daddy Dom.
Okay.
Neil,
Right.
I'm cringing.
Getting sick now. Gonna vomit.
Let's move on to our next match before we go into an Austin Power spiral of no return. Good grief.
Already did.
That's fair.
All right, what the hell? I don't know what we're doing. Okay.
You're the
Do we
booker.
want? We'll do this one. Okay.
Okay, now this is something worth talking about. Now we're getting serious. Bloody fracking Tuckers versus whatever. Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. for the first time ever in what's going to be a very unique counter clinic, if that makes sense, based on what we know from each of these gentlemen. Why one's much more reactive, the other one maybe more proactive. I think for sure he's going to try, but Zack Sabre Jr. and his intentions in the G1, you gotta wonder if Sabreism wins for the first time finally at the third Forbidden Door. First time one-on-one encounter. This is a tech clinic. There's nothing more here really on the line than pride. But honestly, Orange Cassidy, he also needs a restart. JJ, you kick this one off. Your thoughts on this unique match?
Well, I appreciate you throwing to me first. That's why I was raising my hand, because
I admire that.
I made the point on the impromptu. I touched a little bit on it on Dad's as a little bit of a hook to get people to tune into this. They have seriously backed themselves into a corner with this match.
Yeah.
We know Orange Cassidy can go when he wants to. He's a phenomenal wrestler. The cool guy, whatever shtick, is just what gets him over. But if Zack Sabre loses to Pockets, he is ruined as far as the AEW infrastructure goes. How do you beat the American fucking Dragon, the best wrestler in the world today,
Damn it,
and lose to Orange Cassidy?
You don't.
Period. Zack Sabre Jr. must win this. Otherwise, he may as well never appear on AEW television again. Which is sad, because with the change that Orange Cassidy has been going through lately, he needs this victory. Bad. But if he wins, Sabre is dead on American television.
Yep.
Zack Sabre Jr. wins.
Very fair argument. That being said, let's open the floor to see if anyone has a disagreement. So that being said, it's Zack Sabre Jr. right now. Going once, going twice. I'll be damned. Yeah, it's a very sound argument, JJ, because I also think about this. Zack Sabre Jr. not only had a win over Bryan Danielson, he just lost recently against Místico via La Mística in Mexico. And for those that don't know, by the way, he also had a great match with Hechizero. And also he is involved in the G1 where he wants to become IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. For me, this should be the year of Sabreism. And also Orange Cassidy, I don't think his past is done with him either. if Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't find a way to trap him using maybe his own pockets for the win, I can see Trent getting involved and costing Orange Cassidy once again as he keeps calling him a hypocrite. But for me, everything this match in this year should go to the front man of TMDK, Zack Sabre Jr. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, and so does the entire panelists. But this is going to be a unique tech clinic, unlike anything we've seen, considering we know Orange Cassidy's already got wins over the likes of Tomohiro Ishii, Katsuyori Shibata, just to name a couple of other incredible, great technicians, and Helico, etc. Looks like King Mike, though, is going freshly squeezed. Very curious to see that in his predictions, if he still holds that. That being said, James, you and I are going to call this. You're also a huge proponent for technical wrestling, and you've kind of called Orange Cassidy the bridge between both technical and physical. So this is one of the matches I remember you talked about me that you're looking very forward to. So before I move on, is there anything else that you want to add?
I will say Trent is going to cost Orange Cassidy the match because there's no other way you can go with that in order to protect both guys, really. Mm-hmm. It's the only way out of this. But as a match, this is going to be the best match. It's probably going to be a sleeper hit because both men have actually shown tech-wise that they got what it takes to have a great match like that. You mentioned Danielson and Zack Sabre already at Wrestle Dream, the last New Japan crossover show.
And Osaka this year, the new beginning, where Zack Sabre pinned him for 3 seconds. Never submitted the American Dragon, but he did beat him.
And then there was a couple years, 2 years ago at the Forbidden Door where freaking Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay had a clinic that almost gave him a heart attack.
Yeah.
So, because he thought that Will Ospreay was going to lose his championship, which, that was a whole thing with him and Juice Robinson there. We don't talk about that. But yeah, there you go. And I get Zack Sabre for the win. I think we're all in unanimous agreement with that.
Yep. And before we continue again, thank you for those that are tuning in to this first crossover special. It's Cinema did jumping up with some media. Please subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Forget about you tuning in across all platforms. Matt, good to see you. King Mike, King, of course, appreciate your comments, the predictions as well.
I will say to you, Noah, just as a little enticement for watching Dads later, I do have both of these men booked, completely different opponents. I think you'll like what I did with them.
Like I said, I'll be watching it tomorrow, and then I'll be giving my simple thoughts during our 0 hour, which, of course, our 0 hour will start, I believe, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday night. So stay tuned, folks, for more on that. Again, if you haven't already, go check out the interview impromptu Jimmy Network Multimedia crossover, and go check out the Dash and Always on Wrestling Fantasy Book in their own Forbidden Door. As we continue to see the Forbidden Door right here, let's move on to this. Holy shit. Thank you, Jeff. Well, we go from a technical clinic to a physical onslaught as the former multiple-time never openweight champion takes on a guy that eats, sleeps, lives, and breathes violence in professional wrestling, endorsed by William Regal as the perfect professional wrestler who is right now on his last odyssey. It is the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, former WWE champion, of course, former Ring of Honor World Champion, Pro Champion, taking on former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, the Rampage Dragon, former Dragon Gate Champion, Shingo Takagi. It's the year of the dragon here in the Multiverse of Media and the Forbidden Door. Dragon versus Dragon with a bastard waiting on the other side. What the hell else do I need to say besides let's just see who literally can survive the physical onslaught? Of course, we know that, of course, Shingo Takagi just lost the Neverweight Championship to Hinata. Congratulations. Of course, at, I believe it was Dominion. Yeah, it was Dominion. And, of course, Hinata won that title during the follow-up rematch at New Japan Seoul, the first Mali champion of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shingo Takagi, though, said he wants to come over here, make it to Wembley, and bring the AEW World Championship back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's also involved in the G1 Climax. On the other side, though, the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, who's had matches in clinics against the likes of Katsuyori Shibata, Minoru Suzuki, Tomohiro Ishii, Rainmaker Tsuchika Okada, who he beat last year via submission, not done since Okada lost to Shinsuke Nakamura via submission in 2015. But he's also on the last run full-time of his career. We are on the final countdown for the American Dragon's run, and this arguably is his last chance to become potentially a world champion. It's do or die for either man here, as again, it is the Owen, but away for them on the other side is a bastard Pop looking to go back home to Wembley as well. Now, on paper, I feel like, it's obvious that Bryan Danielson, he has to go over here, right? Because for Bryan Danielson, it's his last chance to win the AEW World Championship, and this puts him one step closer. I don't want to say that Shingo Takagi is going to be a write-off opponent because this is a hell of a way for Bryan Danielson to just survive going forward in the Owen, but it has to be Bryan Danielson, don't you think?
After surviving a night on a show with his wife, his sister-in-law, and brother-in-law in San Francisco, and then flying to Long Island, if he doesn't win, I'm going to be mad on behalf of everybody named Danielson. I'll be so pissed off for just the family because of the hell he's no doubt going to go through here in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then flying literally across the country to deal with getting in the ring with Shingo. Like, Jesus. It's Bryan. As much as I legitimately think and want Jeff Jarrett to win this tournament because of the talk he had with the camera last week, shake your head at me, Ports. Get your butt. I think that unless the wild card is MJF, I think Bryan needs to win this tournament.
Yep. I
think that I know I'm projecting, but you can't win the tournament without winning the first round. And that's what's this Sunday. So Bryan almost has to win. It's not as must do for Shingo to be in the main event at Wembley as it is for Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
For my money, Bryan missed Wembley last year, right?
What?
Bryan missed Wembley last year, right?
Yes, he did.
Okay. He's got to be there this year. He has to. So, yeah. Bryan wins on Sunday.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and see if everybody dare. Really, Chris?
No, I'm agreeing what Jeff is saying on Sunday. I do have Bryan Danielson winning on Sunday, and I do believe he is going to win this whole entire tournament and go to Wembley and challenge for the World Championship. And I know Jeff brought about the wild card. I just got a gut feeling who's facing Jeff Jarrett on Wednesday. I have a gut feeling the wild card is going to be a returning Hangman Adam Page.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about him.
The last time that the Cowboy came in as a wild card, let's not forget he won a casino chip. So it would be a surprise to me if that was the case, that we get some Cowboy Shinshack in the Windy City. Oh dear Lord, in Chicago. Uh-oh.
Well, we'll be covering it. So there is that.
I will say I'm pissed that Brian Keith is in the Learning Tree stable because I really do wish that we could have gotten our cowboy style faction with Hangman leading the charge with Bandito and Brian Keith. I'm still pissed we're not going to get that. God damn it.
Who knows? Man, Tony Khan might one day make
time.
Maybe.
Let it cook, James.
Let it cook.
Yeah,
Bandito, to my knowledge, I don't think is medically cleared yet to compete. That's why he hasn't even been involved in Ring of Honor.
It's probably why Brian Keith is in the Learning Tree, because he got in.
That's probably accurate, to be fair. Now stuck in Jericho's mid-card vortex. All right. Well, that being said, I mean, it's just one of those things right now where I'm just going to say this before we move on. I want to hear Europe in Europe, period. 200,000 convert to pounds. 2 more times I need to hear Final Countdown. Wembley and Tacoma.
Yeah, I want it Sunday just because it was the anniversary when we first heard the AEW.
That's a good point, actually, too. Yeah, you're right. The first
that came up in my memories, and I didn't have the clip in front of me, but my mind flashed back to JJ's reaction to that because that was one of the most beautiful things ever.
Yeah, that made me broken octave because, again, it's such an odd song, but it defined the American Dragon. Period.
There's this app that's out there that I discovered that you can isolate, and there's a bunch of them, but I just saw an ad for one recently. You can isolate words and lyrics from music. I need to find a way to isolate Excalibur's damn voice out of that fucking entrance. I don't care about your Pistons, Excalibur. Go suck it. I want to hear the damn song. I want to hear Bryan's entrance.
Detroit Pistons?
Oh, yeah, because it was a theme for my bad boy. Then fuck the Pistons. All right? No. Anyway.
Fair.
Went off the weeds there, but that's okay.
That's fine. Chris, what's up before we go into the next match? What you got? What's up?
The reason I say the wild card is Hangman Adam Page, did you guys saw that Wednesday on AEW that the Elite said that they were going to insert the wild card into the thing, and I feel in a way I picked up and I've been noticing that it is going to be Hangman Adam Page, and I have a gut feeling. I feel Hangman Adam Page is going to be a heel coming back, and he's going to be joining. He's going to be joining the Elite when we get to Blood and Guts, and he's going to be the 5th member of the Elite.
It's okay, James. It's a good boy. It's okay.
It's okay. And JJ, I think, is playing the smallest violin because I think he probably is agreeing with Chris's stance. Because to be fair, that's right after this and after Beach Break, we're heading to Blood and Guts in Nashville.
Damn it.
Hang on, but before we start getting all wound up on Page coming back with them, they did suspend him.
Yeah, but I was saying, I mean, again, let's keep in mind, he was suspended, but again, does he have animosity towards that or animosity towards somebody else we're going to talk about in our main event? Again, a little different shadowing.
That's valid, and I am going to be, once again, announcing I'm grateful I'll be producing, not on air, because if he joins up back with those dipshits, you'll be able to hear my computer sail across the room. So I'll be glad I'll be off camera.
Dude, I swear to God, if he is the freaking wild card because of the Elite, please Ospreay win the title. Please Ospreay win the title. I'm sorry. Like, I like Hangman about himself. I don't like him with the Elite. And it proved when he was without the Elite, he was way better off. So.
All right.
No, I'm going to disagree with that, but that's a whole other show. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Well, no, his title reign for sure, but I'm talking about his chase for the title. He was way better off without the Elite in kayfabe.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid.
But like with the Elite being in his ear, oh boy, when they gave him the nod of approval, it was all downhill from there.
Well, I'll tell you what's not going to be downhill. These people that are going to send ladders and risk their careers for the TNT Championship.
Oh, we're doing that? Okay.
Earlier, why not? Because this is going to be literally a human car wreck.
Okay, so I have the graphic where it's spoiler free.
I appreciate that.
For Rampage. So there you go.
So let's just go ahead and talk about, of course, this. And again, people want to know the spoilers. Again, they could look them up reported at NoDQ.com. So you got a NoDQ. But yes, TNT Championship, of course, was vacated. And now we are defining it in a ladder match. Oh boy. It is Dante Martin, who last time he was on a ladder, his ankle got twisted a complete 180. A Ring of Honor World Champion, Mark Briscoe. God bless that boy. And the Briscoes know a thing or two about ladders who follow Ring of Honor history.
Yes.
The Alpha and DDT Pros own Konosuke Takeshita, Jack Perry, and the returning Leo Rush. I mean, Leo Rush back in AEW. How about that? Of course.
And the winner of
Hell Phantasmo and AR Fox. And again, Team Champions qualifiers. Everyone was barred from ringside. ELP, of course, former British Cruiserweight champion from Red Pro. AR Fox, one of the most dynamic athletes, and almost killed himself in Hell of War back in Lucha Underground, so he knows the things about ladders and surviving falls through glass. Yes. So that being said, again, the circumstances out of this, Adam Copeland, again, who was on the run of his life, but goodbye reminds you, you're not the spry, young extremist you used to be. Adam Copeland, of course, is out indefinitely on injury. Get well soon to the Rated R superstar, who's still in the highest spirits, of course, because he still gets to be a father to his daughter, which is most precious. And I hope to see him again soon to finish out the career the way he wants. Adam Coleman had a vacant TNT Championship, and of course, Christopher Daniels, the interim vice president and the voice of Tony Khan, of course, made these matches now that everyone qualified for. Of course, Dustin Rhodes, I thought he should have won, but then, of course, the very first person that qualified was Konosuke Takeshita. We saw Mark Briscoe qualify. Everyone's here qualified. And of course, now Rampage, we'll find out the 6. the thing about the TNT Championship, though, again, you represent the network. You represent TNT. And it's almost one of those things where it's like, since the inaugural champion, Cody Rhodes, I mean, hell, who literally has presented this title, besides Christian Cage, who held it hostile, as a TV champion? It's one of those things where I think about, again, you have that presence, that ongoing presence. You represent Warner Bros. Discovery, holding the TNT titles. Like, who do I want being that? Now, of course, in usual fashion, when it comes to 6-person fields, whether it's chambers, whether it's title matches, whether it's this madness, you get 2 picks. So we got the primary and we got the secondary here. So that being said, this is the part where everyone can simply go around the horn and give their thoughts. That being said, we're going to start with James on this one. James, who is your primary and secondary for the TNT Championship ladder match to be the face of TNT?
Before I give my picks, I will make the announcement right here that this is one match, despite me not liking that one of the members is in this, that I will not turn my back on.
Okay.
Because there's too many other people to do that to all the, like, it's Lio Rush's return to AEW since the whole debacle happened with Big Swole. So I'm not missing that for the world. He's too talented to miss. Yeah. And then you got everybody else there that doesn't deserve that. So I'll watch, I'll bite the bullet. I think he's my primary. The fucker's gonna win. Of course he's gonna win. They're obviously setting up the Elite whatever. And then there's I guess a secondary. Who's on the graphic again? There's El Fantasma and Lio Rush. They ain't winning. And
they both represent
possibly AR Fox. If he advances, he ain't winning. So who else?
Dante Martin, Mark Briscoe, who again is one of the greatest talkers you could ever hear on YouTube.
He already has a title, so he's out. Okay, so my secondary pick is going to be Konosuke Takeshita, because I think if you're not going with Jackoff, all right, you should go with Konosuke. You should go with Konosuke for the simple fact of this guy is unhappy. He's made it known he's unhappy, and you should make him happy because he's Konosuke Takeshita. He's a goddamn national treasure, and you should treat him as such. So give him a goddamn belt.
Well then.
Yeah, that's
my rant.
James in rage and man on the marquee approved. Probably Statboy approved too. Go check out the Sports Bar, folks, every Tuesday, by the way, with Statboy Mikey and Dory Lou.
Yeah.
If I was going with my heart, he'd be my primary because I think Konosuke deserves it, but he won't be because the Elite got to put themselves over every goddamn thing.
No, but
and meanwhile, everybody else is going to kill themselves for him.
Accurate.
But,
all right. No, that's fine. Jeff. Let's go ahead and switch gears here and go a little counterclockwise. So, Jeff, what's your thoughts on this and what are your 2 picks?
Yeah, I don't disagree with James's picks or the order of his picks, but I disagree with the sentiment. Only like I'm not a fan of the Elite. Lord knows I hate those bastards, especially the young fucks. But
damn,
whatever. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm still hungover enough where my words are not going to be cared about.
Fair enough.
Tomorrow will be better, hopefully. We'll see. I'm going out during overnight. I'll be leaving halfway through, so that's when the drinking will continue.
Views and opinions of Jeff Meacham do not necessarily reflect the rest of the multiverse of media, but fuck yes, they do in this case.
Yeah, exactly.
The disclaimer not needed here, apparently, but for those that have different thoughts, please again, everyone's opinions matter. Keyword opinions. Continue.
Yes, opinions. That is the key phrase, Mr. Foster. Thank you, sir. As much as I dislike what happened with Jack and Punk and everything that has spiraled since then, if he doesn't win a championship here soon, what in the hell is the point of bringing his ass back? Like, I have no problem with him being cannon fodder from here to eternity, like personally. But from a booking standpoint, from a creative standpoint, from an investment standpoint, you got to do something with this guy or just, cut him loose and hope to God he can survive out there in the world.
My point is you should hate to be that guy, but it's like the ratings show that.
But based on the fact that he has been a huge catalyst in the spiraling of the ratings, is WWE going to pick him up even with the name value? No. Does TNA need to pick up an albatross when they're doing so good? No, they don't. Does any other company want anything to do with him outside of where he's already been? New Japan and like the Indies? No.
New Japan, I could see. New Japan is the only place I could see because that's where.
And he was just there recently. Yeah,
and also he's a member, the only American member of House of Torture.
I forgot about that.
Right,
already.
which is fine, but if he just think about it, as obnoxious, as loathing, as much loathing as we put upon Christian Cage and the patriarchy when he was the TT champion, how completely wanting to break our TVs we're so pissed off at him will Jack Perry be as the face of TNT? Jesus Christ. The perfect heel champion right now.
I think it's go away heat in the wrong way, but
I don't disagree with that.
Agree, but that's neither here nor there right now.
Yeah, no, it's one of those. Yes, the elite, particularly the three of them, not Okada. Okada's just caught in the shuffle here, unfortunately.
Okada is next to treasure. Corporate Okada, best pick in this business.
Corporate Okada just makes me smile for reasons I shouldn't. It's a beautiful thing.
Beach.
But the other three, freaking Larry, Daryl, and Daryl can go suck it, and I want them to go away. However, as long as they're going to make themselves be involved, screw it. Put the belt on Jack. Piss the world off. Let's fucking go with it. Lean into it. Take the barrage of bullets.
I mean, that's fair.
It's probably the only one that could make a convincing promo at this point. Who would have said that years ago? I'll give you that.
Right?
Yeah. Interacting with Jungle Jack Perry and Unmasked Luchasaurus and Marco Stern on that cruise 3 years ago, you telling me that Jack Perry would be the best case scenario to be a heel secondary champion? I'd laugh in your damn face. But here we are.
Yeah, what a time we live in 2024.
Hey, remember when Christian Cage blackmailed the dinosaur in saying that he ate Marco's stunt? I do.
It wouldn't surprise me. Marco just disappeared off the face of the fucking earth. So, and it's, I know where Marco went because he actually retired and went to his music career. So good for him. But yeah, it's a great story. Luchasaurus eating Marco. It makes the most sense from TNT's AEW standpoint.
That would be amazing.
You might as well just endorse Jurassic Park. Good grief.
He did the thing.
All right.
Holy fucking shit. Marco Stunt is dead. Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
James, please stop singing. This is not a musical. Fuck you all on that.
How is it not a musical? You had Santa Claus bringing back the dinosaurs.
That's true.
That's a fucking musical in itself, that one sentence.
That is true.
Okay.
He's right.
Okay.
Right.
First off,
man on the marquee.
First off, Santa Claus and dinosaurs don't sound right in any form of media in the same sentence.
Richard Attenborough, look it up, dog.
I don't watch movies.
He does.
Jurassic Park.
That's fair.
I've heard Jurassic Park. I mean, who hasn't? It's damn it on the TNT marquee sometimes. I see 5 minutes of every stupid movie that exists on TNT ahead of watching fracking Collision and Rampage because it's like, get that shit off my screen. Anyway,
I got no off the rails.
yeah, exactly. And now back to our feature presentation. JJ, go ahead and get your 2 picks in on this match.
Well, I definitely agree with the number 1 pick. The TNT champion, the face of television, is going to be the son of the television star, which is a great way that they can book it. The son of the TV star is the TV champion.
Right.
It'll be a great callback if we want to go back to the Jack Perry Christian angle. Seeing as how Christian had the title before Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland is injured. Jack Perry was with Christian and Luchasaurus. It would be a great way to kind of revisit that and see if Christian or Killswitch can get a title shot against Jack and tap into that for some, long-term storytelling.
It could happen.
As soon as I saw him be the first one to qualify, I knew he was going to be the one to win it. Because it makes sense for them to do the evolution gimmick.
Right.
It's been overdone. It's been beat to shit. But there's a reason why it's been overdone, because it works. And you go back to that shot of them all arriving at the arena right after Jack joined up with them, and you can totally see the evolution stick there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
My second pick is where I'm going to stray a little bit different, even though I do like your guys' logic with Takeshita. And I like some Konosuke Takeshita, but my second pick is going to be Dante Martin.
Oh.
That kid's got a huge future, and I'd love to see him pull it out of nowhere to be able to grab that title.
That's fair. Previous challenger, of course. You remember that you all saw in this forum, almost, him versus Scorpio Scott, who's supposed to be coming back soon. So it's one of those things where I kind of agree with the sentiment of the primary if we're going with mine, but if it was Hart, let's just put this out here. Who would have thought we would see Mark Briscoe on Warner Brothers Discovery, let alone competing for a title that represents their network? Imagine the what the fuck moment if Mark Briscoe claims the TNT Championship. He's been a predominant presence weekly on Dynamite, and honestly, he and Jack Perry could be a feud they build out of this very ladder match. And while he is the Ring of Honor World Champion, I get that. By the way, incredible match against Kyle Fletcher. He's going to be involved in Death Before Dishonor, but we've seen how much the crossover happens with Ring of Honor AEW, how it's muddled, but Mark Briscoe somehow is able to balance both worlds to the point that Kyle O'Reilly right now literally is impersonating him when it comes to his promo and energy. And Kyle O'Reilly might be my favorite thing going right now when it comes to facial expressions during that man's promos. I love it. I love the combination of those two. Make them the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. Oh, wait, that's right. Mark Briscoe don't want to be a tag champ. To make them AEW Tag Team Champions. All right? Seriously, give me Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly together. I love it. But I agree with the sentiment of the initial primary. It's got to be Jack Perry at this point based on the story ongoing where what takes down this form of the elite when Team AEW fell at Double or Nothing? Can they do it later on down the line, whether it's a different stage here in America or over in Wembley, et cetera, et cetera? So I agree with the sentiment of the primary being Jack Perry. As far as the secondary, JJ, you took my thoughts right out from me. Imagine Dante Martin last time, ladder match, it broke his ankle. This time he wins a ladder match and he wins his first championship. That guy is one of the youngest rising original stars in AEW, singles or tag capacity. And being endorsed by Leo Rush even, who literally took him underneath his wing, and we all know the man of the hour is a former Cruiserweight champion himself, I think it'd be very poetic for Dante Martin to have his moment. And even if Jack Perry doesn't win, which is probably what everyone's wishing, you build a feud with Jack Perry for the TNT champion regardless of who wins here. Konosuke the Cash Gun's going to be involved in the G1 climax, so he doesn't need a TNT title. They're not going to show TNT across New Japan world. I guarantee you that. And as far as AR Fox, I mean, the last time AR Fox was involved in anything related to AEW, insert timetable here. Without Hikuleo, ELP's future unknown, but ELP, I believe he also is going to be involved in the G1, so it's like a new start for him as a single star in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Bottom line, everybody in this match has something going for them after this, but you figure about who could be the face of TNT. You either give it to the Elite or you give it to Dante Martin and see how he goes along with it because he's definitely putting the work for it. So I agree with Jack Perry and Dante Martin, but I'm holding out for Mark Briscoe, shocking the hell out of us because that boy deserves the world because he's given us new hope in this world for AEW with his spirit. Jay Briscoe be honored. Man up. All right. That being said, Chris, you close this thing out. Who are your two picks for this ladder match?
Well, my primary pick is definitely going to be Jack Perry. And for my secondary is I'm going to agree with JJ and Noah. I'm going with Dante Martin because the reason I'm going with Dante Martin is he deserves to be the TNT champion. And I saw Dante Martin down in Youngstown, Ohio for AEW Collision, and he looked so good. He's talented. and he's one of my favorites in AEW today.
Okay.
So I'm going with Jack Perry and Dante Martin on Sunday at Forbidden Door.
Imagine Jeff and JJ if we get Dante Martin versus Scorpio Sky, but the roles are reversed.
Sure.
I'm there for any time Scorpio Sky's on television.
Right?
Yeah, and quite honestly, he should be already. He should be in this match.
He was out due to injury for a while, guys, and besides that,
He should be in NXT with All Ego Ethan Page.
I guess the Man of the Year could have another run. I mean, maybe I'll care about the NXT Tag Team Championships versus the opponents they're facing, but that's a whole different conversation. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next match here. We're getting down the line pretty much. I think only the biggest matches at this point remains, including the homecomers. Of course, we're in Long Island, New York. Let's go ahead and talk about this because this could be the first roll call for the Unguardable one, as it's Tetsuya Naito, the former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, taking on Jon Moxley. And of course, Jon Moxley added this to his repertoire with GCW, CCW, WWE, AEW. Dadgum, this man's done every fucking thing, including surviving Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, one of the most bloody dead matches I've ever seen in Ryogoku. Yeah. And of course, we'll be covering the next Bloodsport here in the Multiverse Media later next month. So keep that in mind. Jon Moxley doesn't know how to take a break, but he deserves a vacation. That being said, the stakes are much higher for Naito, where I never really know where that man's mind is, but he said Jon Moxley wins, he could take his spot in the G1. Because, of course, we know the winner of the G1 gets the challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom. Ironically enough, that's where Naito won it. He beat Sonata earlier this year, literally in January. And he lost it to Jon Moxley, of course, right here in Chicago. But the thing about Naito is he's about the moment. He wants to do those roller calls, the LIJ roller call. He finally did it in the Tokyo Dome. He's never done it before, though, on American soil. For the one match of Forbidden Door here, where it's truly NJPW versus AEW for an NJPW title and an AEW title, that's about as Forbidden Door as you could get from a name standpoint. Jon Moxley's a guy that literally could paradigm shift anything. I don't know what he does after this, but I don't know if he still needs to be IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So that being said, I'm going to say that Naito gets it back and takes it into the G1 and continues his run of roll calls throughout all of Japan, including that Mazda Stadium he wants to do so near and dear to him. So I think Naito gets it back, and this is the moment NJPW gets at Forbidden Door more than anything else. First time ever. So I'm going with Naito, new champion. Before I move on, does anyone have a disagreement? Going once. Go. JJ.
I think Jon Moxley is going to defeat Tamagotchi Naruto.
What?
Breeze James, in and out, brother.
No, he made him sound like a freaking jutsu from Naruto. I have all sorts of confused.
I did that on purpose.
I know.
I did not know JJ was an anime fan. I'm extremely proud of him, but please elaborate why you're going with Jon Moxley retaining the IWGP Championship.
Yeah.
What?
I just see, like, with the forward motion into Blood and Guts and not really knowing who is going to be on Team AEW side going into that match, I see Moxley still going in there with that title. If I were Tony Khan booking Blood and Guts or whatever the big blow-off is going to be at Wembley, it would be the Elite versus former AEW World Champions. It would be Hangman Adam Page. It would be Kenny Omega. It would be Jon Moxley. And it would be probably Jericho, because Swerve is going to be in the main event defending his title. And, well, we know where Punk is. So you got those four.
Well, also Max
against the Elite. And you got Max instead of Jericho, but that would be my match. Is your former AEW champions that have carried the company on their back against the four in the Elite. So you got to keep Mox open for something like that. I think it would mean more for, how do you say his last name again? I don't want to say Naruto since I did that for the haha. Naito?
Naito.
Naito.
Yeah.
I think it would mean more for Naito to get it back in Japan, either at the culmination of the G1 or whatever, as opposed to winning it here at this show. So I got Mox retaining.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's certainly unique, but I just hold out for the moment here versus the title win. If this opens the show, which is very possible considering what happened last year, Naito wins, gets his roll call for the first time ever in America, and then heads back over to Japan, prepare for the G1. That's basically been my stance on it. But again, the Team AEW this time being literally enough of AEW World Champions, that's a unique shout out, especially bringing a New Japan title in the fray. Also comes down to Kenny Omega's health. But okay, JJ, that was a very unique. I admire that. Of course, John Moxley's already retained against Evil. Ugh, thank Christ. Reno Ida, Shota Umino, and Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs gets well soon, by the way. Of course, he's injured. So he's had a good run with this title. And of course, he's represented it here in AEW in America. So it's almost like give John Moxley a title. He'll just show you again. With me, you got to do one thing. Keep up. Can Naito keep up, though? Or is Naito going to drive John Moxley into insanity with his tranquilo?
It's one of those things, you know, I thought I just really lost it. Damn. Oh, it was actually pretty decently profound, and I forgot what it was because I got caught up in what you were saying. No, yeah, it'll come back to me.
Yeah, I got you. Well, okay. That being said, everybody went with Naito, but
JJ, that's what it was.
Go ahead.
Nothing else. We've been pretty universal throughout this whole thing. JJ picking Moxley may be the thing that gets him the points.
That's true.
Possibly.
Yeah. So,
could be the deal breaker here in the league at this point.
There you go.
I will never forget the day I heard Tamaguchi Naruto. I'm like,
that's right.
Tamagotchi.
My bad.
He is literally the pocket pet anime star of New Japan taking on John Moxley. There you go.
To be fair.
Can't wait for him to fight Kazuchika Sasuke.
Yes.
As I eat Japanese food. As I eat Japanese food for dinner, but anyway.
There you go.
Well, first off, arigato for that reference.
Yes.
Moving on.
All right.
And don't forget Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Konosuke Takeshita.
Anyway. Why would you echo the words of the Wolf of Pro Wrestling, everyone's favorite scumbag, and now what's going to be his homecoming as we're back in the most wonderful place on earth, AEW World, Long Island, New York. As yes, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, goes one-on-one against the Alchemist, the bizarre technical wizard himself from CMLL, Hechicero. This match is about out of the blue as you can get, but a unique test for MJF. And again, it might go towards the fact that MJF wants AEW to do a show in Azteca, Mexico, the home base of CMLL, where a certain CEO we'll talk about later showed up and faced their opponent. But that being said, Hechicero, for those that don't know, of course, heavily known in CMLL for his unique, bizarre, circumstantial, technical wrestling, able to pull moves out of nowhere to the point he can literally full Nelson head scissor lock you at the same time with his legs and still trap you in a cravat. Ask Dalton Castle about that. He impressed AEW so much that the Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan, and Toleona decided to add him to the fray, along with the Machine Brian Cage. First time ever one-on-one encounter here, though, as of course Brian Cage and company have been trying to make a name for themselves in AEW at the expense of MJF. And so we have this honestly, exhibition. But underlying beyond that, what is MJF's future? He's already endorsed the likes of Daniel Garcia being one of the pillars that could lead AEW into the next generation, to the point he was offering him a one-on-one opportunity at Wembley Stadium. For now, that's not official. That's suspension of disbelief. We also know in the past, MJF has confronted the likes of Swerve Strickland, and has called out the likes of, the bruv, Will Ospreay. To the point Will Ospreay brushed him off this past Wednesday on Dynamite after Will Ospreay said he's also been watching Daniel Garcia and is now going to give him an AEW National Championship match this coming Wednesday at Beach Break, which of course we are going to cover. That being said, there's a lot going right now for MJF, who will also be involved on the Collision following Forbidden Door as we head towards Blood and Guts as well. Now, of course, the last time we saw MJF, he and Rouge had a legit banger commercial free on Dynamite, and MJF won. I'm not sure anyone's surprised, but Rouge right now's intensity has kind of been foiled to the point he may literally join the family. Oh, Lord. This one seems pretty cut and dry, but I'm very curious to see how MJF's style holds up against Hechicero, considering, again, he wants to wrestle in Mexico. And a win over Hechicero is a hell of a way to bunch a ticket towards maybe CMLL, where Hechicero might ask you to confront him there on his own turf. I think this one's pretty much kind of dry because he's better than you and you know it. I think we're all going with Maxwell Jacob Freeman in Long Island, New York at Forbidden Door. That being said, James, what you got to add to this?
It's unanimous, but I will say I was originally dreading this match, but if Max chose this, then fuck it. Who am I to question the salt of the earth? He picked him for a reason, so you know what? I'm looking forward to it just based on that alone. It is Max. Anything with a Max endorsement, I'll buy it. God damn it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's what Jacob Freeman has literally faced all, seen all, beaten all. And again, he said, bet on yourself. He's not leaving. He's here in AEW for the long haul. If there's anybody you're going to watch in AEW for something, whether it's on the mic or in the ring, it's going to be Maxwell Jacob Friedman, especially in his hometown of Long Island, New York.
I will say, everybody says, well, he got a tattoo with AEW's logo. He could not leave. But if he did, could you imagine the heat if he showed up on WWE and then erased the AEW logo with tattoo removal and then replaced it with the WWE logo? How hilarious would that be?
I mean,
he would be the most hated man in wrestling. Like, no fucking lie. Like, there wouldn't even be everybody else would be fighting for number 2.
Yeah, dude.
And you know Punk would call it out.
Oh, yeah.
Punk would call it out.
The one to call it out in a promo.
And Max would eat it up. He'd be like, yes, hate me. Please hate me for this. I'm fucking begging you to hate me for this.
It would be Cena and The Rock when Cena busted Rocky for the promo notes.
Oh, that was so good. Oh, I
just pull up Max's leg. Nice tattoo.
There you go. And then
that is one elite level tattoo you got there, Max.
Right.
then just Max could be like, well, maybe I could get a Coca-Cola tattoo to rival your Pepsi. Oh wait, I'm not that petty.
But he is.
But he is.
We exactly, all know how.
But you know, he's the salt of the earth, so he's got
to No. Have him say, I'm not that petty.
There you go. There's the petty. There you go.
I can see that. MJF, again, you're our scumbag. We endorse you.
Dude, he gets a Coke tattoo. He's like, "Are we gonna get it with?"
About John Cena, we have him back on our show.
What were you gonna say, Jeff?
Yeah, I was gonna say we had him get the Coca-Cola tattoo, and then Max goes, "I was gonna get it with Jack, but I already punked out that bitch as it was, like you did, right?"
Oh my
god!
They have a commonality there, right?
I mean, you know, they're going to Chicago on Wednesday. I'm just saying he may be booked for Collision on Saturday, but it doesn't mean he can't show up in the Windy City.
AEW's in Chicago on Wednesday.
Yes,
that's
they
where
are.
Beach Break is.
Wintrust Arena.
Having Beach Break in Chicago. Okay.
Look, they had Beach Break. They had Beach Break in Cleveland in January. That I went there live to see Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy and Lights Out. I'm just saying.
I'm glad I'm skipping that shit show. That will.
I'm not going to make the same choice as Eric Bischoff made it. Okay.
Absolutely.
You know, it's so weird.
I'm gonna tell you this, okay? I'm gonna try to convince you with 2 things to join us for Beach Break.
Yes.
Oh god damn it.
Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander.
Not enough.
Jeff Jarrett versus his wild card opponent in the Owen.
Daniel Garcia versus
Noah actually supporting Jeff Jarrett.
Here's the problem, though. If Chris is right and it's Hangman, I'm not going to want to see that. I'm going to want to turn my back. So that's the point.
Hold on. Jeff is dumbfounded by what I said. Do you need me to repeat that?
Yeah. Run that back for me again. Make sure I heard that clearly and distinctly.
Jeff Jarrett versus his wild card opponent.
Right.
Noah supporting Jeff Jarrett.
I'll be in there in the comments just to see Noah's reaction if that makes you feel any better, and then I'll fuck off.
I'm the play-by-play guy. I'm supposed to hold the integrity. Don't you try and break me.
Cancel my check. Bring another round. Thank you. All right.
And first time for everything.
Wow.
Oh, and also speaking of checks, if any of the ideas for the Punk MJF go through, hey, somebody send us a fucking royalty check for once.
You're not getting
Please.
royalties.
I
Aaron's still
think-
looking for royalties.
I think our scumbag would make sure we got something.
That's true.
That's
That's
right.
true.
Send your money to me.
Because he's
Al
been
Franken.
watching Jeff Meacham since he was once a wee lad.
Yeah, that's right.
That's fair.
Which again, thank you. Okay. Add an Ovaltine to that order. Thank you. All right. Yeah.
Dude,
And an oatmeal raisin cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think everybody here is going with MJF, correct?
Yeah, because he's
Well,
So we can
well,
move on.
We're not sure because John Cena hasn't given his pick yet in Chris's chair.
Well, Magic 8 Ball will say as again later, but I think I saw Chris's echoed settlements. Besides, I also just thought about, because I said Adam Cole's name, Bebe. Whoops. The thing is, remember, when MJF arrived at Double or Nothing, he literally sheer dropped Brainbuster Adam Cole,
That's
and he
right.
hasn't been since. So
That's
I think
right.
that might be the program underlying in planning for MJF, because the devil has yet to get his full due.
Why? Why do the program? He bitched him out in front of God and everybody. There's no point in the program.
Pretty
Well, I'm
much.
sure they'll find some way to put it on the card.
No.
You know
Stop it.
it's gonna be true. No. You know it's gonna be true. You know it.
No, but the problem is the
Moving
hottest
right along.
hottest the feud was literally last year at Wembley. You're not going to top it now because you killed off any momentum Cole had. Why? Because you're like, oh shit. Well, even though Cole's injured, we got to do the turn. We got to do the wrestling thing. And then everybody's like, no, but we liked them as friends. Don't do the wrestling thing. And everybody said, we're doing the wrestling thing. And then we're like, we don't want you to, but they did it anyway. And then we were sad.
Well, again, that's the past. The future's yet known. Let's go ahead and continue down this card. And again, I don't think we're too far off seeing the return of Adam Cole. But anyway, let's keep going down this card. And speaking of returns, how about the return from the CEO since she returned back to professional wrestling? As of course, oh Lord. Again, I have thoughts, but again, not just about me. It's about the panel here. It's the predicting. Okay, guys, this is unique. Now we're really picking things up. Let's get to the women here. First of two women's matches on this card. I will say this. The fact there has been so much women representation in these matches in Dynamite, Collision, and this pay-per-view. Good stuff, Tony Khan. Keep it up. Mercedes Moné defends the TBS Championship against Stephanie Vaquer of CMLL and looks to proclaim the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. Of course, this match is long-term storytelling because these two define the NJPW Strong Women's Division in the opening inaugural match of the NJPW Strong Women's Championship tournament last year at Resurgence. It's over a year and 2 months in the making. So here we go. As we know, Mercedes Moné was out indefinitely due to an injury where Willow Nightingale had her rise, while Stephanie Vaquer has been one of the most prolific figures in CMLL in women's wrestling, La Primera. Of course, the current CMLL Women's World Champion and CMLL Women's Tag Team Champion alongside Cecius. Cecius, who recently challenged Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship on Dynamite. Great match, I must say. And of course, Mercedes Moné won. Mercedes Moné, of course, beat Willow Nightingale and closed the chapter on that book at Double or Nothing. Great match there. And it's been a very predominant fighting champion, including against the likes of Sky Blue. Again, Sky Blue also a future champion. Just going to put that out there. And so we also saw her show up on Stephanie's home turf, CMLL, where again, Tony Khan's planting the seeds for a Mexico show in Azteca, Mexico, if I'm not surprised. And so we have this unique one-on-one rematch follow-up where it's winner takes all. So that being said, do you pay when you mess with Moné, or does Stephanie Vaquer shock the world and become not only the face of CMLL, but the face of TBS? Now, I don't know necessarily to start with here, considering there's another match I know there's an opposite polarizing interest in. So I think just to divvy it up, we're going to leave that one towards the filibuster and this one towards the guy that does know a little bit about Lucha Libre and has some thoughts regarding this. So, James, you kick things off. What's your thoughts regarding this? Who takes all the gold, and does she do it alone? I want to put this little tangent out there. Long time ago, what does a CEO need? Business cabinet, maybe some, affiliates. There was a couple of twins that are renegades that said, hey, maybe we can roll alongside Moné. I wouldn't mind seeing that personally in the CEO's office, just saying, because the CEO is better as a heel than a face. Especially
I agree.
But go ahead, James. Your thoughts on this match. Who you got?
I think this is going to be the match where Mercedes Moné goes full bitch mode. I think she's going to go heel in this one. I think because of exactly what you said, Noah. I will say that I'm looking for this strictly as a match perspective. This is going to be match of the night. We know, and the reason I say that is because the last match they had was tremendous. I mean, it was right up there with that entire Strong women's tournament in the opening rounds was probably some of the best women's wrestling I saw all year that year.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't say that with any hyperbole. So, like, if you're into work rate, that's your match. I'm telling you that right now. That's your match. These two are going to kill it in the ring. I think Mercedes is definitely going to win the Strong title, which she hadn't won already. I think she's going to do that in lines of a new faction. God, I hope it doesn't get muddled up into elite crap because I'd be sad, but something tells me that's kind of the direction everything's going.
I say it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, but I hope you're right.
So yeah, I think Mercedes is going to go full heel on that. But I'm looking forward to the match. So yeah.
Just like Tatilla, I definitely agree with the echoed sentiments, and I also agree with the prediction against Steph Vaquer. Phenomenal wrestler, phenomenal champion. Of course, defended this title already against the likes of Asume of Stardom and Alice Windsor, Mrs. Bruv, and the most prolific Repro Undisputed Women's British Heavyweight Champion. Not to mention, she beat Julia for this championship, and Julia, of course, is injured right now, part of Marigold, soon to maybe cross over into another prohibited portal. That being said, so right now, James has opened it up right now with one for the CEO. Does the rest of the cabinet agree, or do we have a disagreement? Going once, going twice. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, please, Chris, never do that again, please.
Unless someone super chats, there will be no more
That
dancing on this platform ever again.
Somebody out-whited Jeff Meacham today.
That's the whitest thing I've seen in a while. God damn. Dude, I'm blinded.
I thought Ospreay doing it was bad.
Yeah, no.
Ospreay doing it was funny because he actually had some groove to it. Like, that was just like, it was so white that even my ring light doesn't compete.
We have Shota Umino, Will Ospreay, and now Christopher Rotz. Okay.
Or Chris Rotz was trying to groove, but he was trying to groove a round peg into a square hole is what he was doing there. So it just wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening. We love you though, Chris.
Not even a square hole, a round peg into a triangle hole.
Oh, that's next level pain. That shit hurts.
And this guy down here admitted trying to fit a square block in around a hole. One time we were talking about burger.
I was about to say, I'm autistic. I understand that reference.
Yeah, right?
Anyway,
you are the Brute Squad. You are the reference.
We go. Show y'all about meet.
All right, well, guys, let's cool down here. But I know someone's about to keep things up because I know JJ, you got some thoughts, bruv.
Okay, look, I don't think anybody is disagreeing the fact that Mercedes Moné is going to win this match.
No.
However,
but
I feel this is going to be a dumpster fire.
Really?
Not necessarily as far as quality, but just this match from a booking standpoint is already a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the only reason this match exists is to give Mercedes the belt she should have won a year ago.
Yep.
The belt that Willow never should have won in the first place.
Yep.
Can anybody explain to me, and I may have my numbers a little bit off, so work with me here. My stats may not be completely Statboy approved, but they're close enough.
Okay.
And for the people in the chat room, don't give me it's a scripted wrestling match. Can anybody explain to me why Mercedes Moné is about to become a double champion in her third match? Meaning that she has won titles in 2 of those 3 matches. Yet Deonna Purrazzo is 12-4 and beltless.
Yeah, that's fair.
is absent from this card.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Anybody? Bueller?
Maybe
I got nothing for you, bruv. I'm just looking forward to Hikaru Shida versus Deonna Purrazzo on Collision because Hikaru Shida is the most prolific female wrestler in AEW history.
So
This is the shit that boils my water.
The wrong way. Almost to the point it overboils the pot. Lid.
This is the reasons why I'm beyond over this broad. Before she even put her ink on the paper for the contract. This is Charlotte Flair level shit. And we all know how I feel about her, right, Jeff?
what?
Jeff?
I said this is Charlotte Flair.
I heard what
level
you said.
shit,
Keep going.
And we all know how I feel about her, right, Jeff?
Okay, all right. Look. If you
I'm the
doesn't
guy
get
in the
my
middle.
dander up
I'm
on
gonna-
a Friday night when I'm trying to get ready for my shit. Okay, fine.
All right, calm down,
so-
you gentlemen. There's a reason why I'm in the middle of you two gents. Anyway, go ahead,
right.
Jeff.
Well, no, it's he's not wrong, and it's stuff like this that chaps my ass too, and why I had to literally pull my hand away from the keyboard when Tony Khan said we have the best women's division in the world. Muckerfather, you don't have the best women's division on your own continent. Like, shut. You know what?
You don't have the best women's division in Florida.
Shit. On behalf of our friends at Chase U, Tony Khan and AEW.
Everyone shut the up and sit down!
Because you're wrong in what you say.
Okay.
We have long established, at least in this circle of people, that the Knockouts and the NXT Women's Division are 1 and 2, and they're fighting to the bloody death.
Against each other now.
Against each other for it, exactly.
Except it's anniversary.
AEW has allowed itself, Tony or whoever, to go to a decently distant number 3, unfortunately. Now, I saw Britt Baker last night. She is ready to go. It's just a matter of pulling that trigger. She is in the best shape I've ever seen her in her career.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
But you can't attach an entire division to somebody's back and have them carry it. JJ knows that, having tried to carry Datilla's NXT coverage. Then back braces is fucking expensive, yo.
Oh my
real.
God.
How much stuff will I carry?
Like, seriously, you can't.
I carry one show. You carry the multiverse.
Yeah, there's a reason JJ and I will forever have chronic back issues, and it wasn't anything to do with his backyard wrestling or me having an accident at work. Just saying, it is silly to think that one person can carry a division. And based on saying that, how do you exactly, JJ? How do you give somebody 2 championships in 3 matches? He's not balancing his basket. He's hedging his bets on one person. And meanwhile, and I don't care what the hell anybody says, this match has been far more promoted. I didn't say better booked. I said more promoted than the world title match that we're going to get to here momentarily.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. Both stories are sound. I will say that. You've got long-term storytelling in both matches.
Yes.
Mercedes' year-long quest to get back what she should never have had to lose in the first place, or not win because she was the first champion. And then you've got the Toni and Mina story. But the fact that I have heard that if it wasn't Swerve and Ospreay, there was serious consideration for putting Mercedes in the main event because it's Mercedes. It's like it's the secondary women's title.
Yep.
How does it main event over the world women's title, let alone the world championship?
It doesn't.
No.
It shouldn't, and especially considering the fact that Toni, and I love Mercedes. I don't have nearly as much of a gripe as JJ and Jeff do, but Tony's been the best thing going on that show, period, when it comes to women's division.
But we made that point earlier, James. Toni and her shenanigans, great as they are, and freaking talk to text are the most over thing in this company.
Yep.
It's a talk to
Timeless
text.
Toni Storm is the greatest gimmick that AEW has conceived.
Yeah.
Period.
I cannot argue that, and I guess nobody will argue at this point. The CEO is about to take over New Japan's Women's Strong division, where Tanahashi said, and I quote, "I want the NJPW Strong brand championships to be focused and competed for here in America." They didn't specify North America, but I gotta imagine Mexico and Canada gotta be part of that in some degree. He doesn't want those styles competed over in Japan to muddle the atmosphere. You talked about too many championships. Tanahashi even admitted, when you look at the Strong in NJPW, guys, there's more championships in New Japan Pro Wrestling than there are in AEW. 13 of them.
Which is ridiculous, by the way. I will say, to JJ's point, like, it is a problem with Mercedes. And by the way, that stems before AEW. That stems with her New Japan run, too.
No,
Because her first match in, she won the title there, too.
Yeah.
Right. And that shows me a couple things. That shows me that she has the power within herself to stand her ground and like, no, I walked out of WWE because I feel I'm better than that. And I don't disagree with her on that front. I disagree with the way she went about it, but not that she did, because she is another level talent. However, how desperate, fuck it, I'll use the word, how desperate was New Japan that they had to put their women's championship on them just to get that shot with Okada at the end of the show. It was a powerful moment. You had Okada and Moné with the championships at the end of that show, and it was a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
But we've all in this room agreed that the AEW women's roster, when it's booked properly, is deep and solid.
Yes.
Yep.
But they've been booked like such dog shit that Mercedes holding any championship is the desperation button being pushed.
What I will say to add to your point, Jeff, real quick, is that's why I say she's got to go full bitch mode now.
There's no other way. If she's going to be a 2 championship holder, and if she's using the hashtag two belts Moné, she's got to go out there and pull off Izzy headband grabbing Sasha Banks Mercedes Moné.
That's exactly my
point.
point.
She has to be that
bitch
level woman. She has to be. There's no other way to go, because if you sit here and wishy-washy about it, we're not going to care.
No, exactly. And that's my thing. If you give her, and AEW has had this problem, by the way, forever when it comes to heel and face turns.
Yeah.
They're still having that problem.
Yeah.
There is no better time for Moné to fucking turn heel.
Nope.
Put it with the Renegade Twins. Have her just own it, right?
Yep.
Because the money match, there's 2 money matches. You got Mariah May and Toni Storm, which should go over this one. But the other one for the women is Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné.
I was going to say.
It writes itself. But you have to turn her heel in order to do that.
Yeah, because Britt's not coming back as a heel. Yeah.
No. Britt Baker's the babyface. You have Killer, Pillar, and you bring back Rebel to take on the opposition of the Renegades, Mercedes Moné. Boom. Pay me royalties.
Well, I don't know if Rebel is wanting to wrestle like at that level, and the Renegades are at that level. So I don't know if that would be the best way to go. But I will.
Jamie Hayter and maybe Alex Windsor, because you can't really do B3.
Well, I mean Jamie and anybody, but Jamie and Britt have to go through the Renegades for Britt to get Mercedes. There's the story.
Oh shit! No, there's I forgot they teamed up with Hikaru Shida too.
She was here. There you go. Hey.
Shida and Moné could be another program underlined as well. By the way, the most prolific AEW Women's World Champion versus the CEO. Not to mention they have a tag team before, but also to James's point about Alex Windsor, though. There's one person that Alex Windsor never faced, that's always wanted to face, and that is Jamie Hayter. So why not have the 2 coexist and then maybe build towards a mutual one-on-one match? Bottom line,
there you go.
Jamie Hayter, both the Killer and Pillar are needed for AEW. Bite me if you think otherwise. But that being said, again, we're down to 2 matches. Great talk about this, but I love the fact you say both these as what I like to call the dummy event, because these two are the most important matches on the show, in my opinion, because of the richest prizes. And I think they have the longest stands when it comes to relationships and what could be ahead. So that being said, we now go to this, and I'm not going to say another word. JJ, this is your time to shine. You are the filibuster. You are the leader, the pioneer, not named Maj McGinnis, that owns the Timeless era. It's time to talk about the AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm, and I know King, go ahead, type it in the chat, all caps. I'm waiting for it, you freaking bruv. Timeless Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's World Championship in black and white. There it is. Damn it. With Mariah May, allegedly, in the corner, and Luther, the butler, taking on Stardom's Mina Shirakawa, 1/3 of the current Artist of Stardom champions, representing Exodus Nexus Venus, along possibly also with Mariah May, in the corner. Now, usually I'm the guy that gets the backstory, but this right here is literally a feature presentation worthy of a cold open, and he's already in the Timeless persona. I'm going to mute myself and give it over to JJ to open things here. JJ, the floor is yours. Spotlight this. Talk about the winner. Talk about what's ahead.
Well, unfortunately for everybody, I feel like this is, next to the Mercedes match, the easiest match to predict.
Yeah.
That's a crying shame.
I agree.
I have said this on multiple shows here recently. I said it on the Impromptu. I've said it on Open Mic Night. This match is one of the best booked matches on the card. It is the match that I care the absolute most about.
Yes.
But I feel like we are caring about it for the wrong reasons.
Some are, yes.
I compared this match and the build to it on the Impromptu to Eric Bischoff HLA from 2002.
Fuck that.
That's pretty much what this is, combined with the Custody of Dominic ladder match, except this is Mariah May on a pole here, essentially. Which I'm surprised TK didn't go there, but there's still 48 hours for him to add stuff.
No.
Okay, TK, you can send that royalty check to JJ Williams, care of. Anyway, continue.
I'm gonna rant. I'm gonna rant about it. Talk more about that.
Cállate.
Breathe, dog.
This match intrigued me enough that I began to search and find out who Mina Shirakawa was.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the history with her and Mariah May. I wanted to do my due diligence, my homework. I wanted to be able to converse with people like Noah about someone I have no fucking clue about. Because this angle intrigued me so.
Right.
The problem is the stuff that you find when you Google Mina Shirakawa.
Oh boy. Well, now that you said that, let me.
now that it took James a minute for the light bulb to click on.
Looking for
that is the problem. That is the problem with this match.
Yep.
Is it all centers on the sex appeal?
Yeah.
Pathetic.
The Women's Revolution was 2019?
Shit, 17, 16.
17.
Yeah.
During my hiatus, forgive me for missing the
No, you're good.
You're good. We are almost a decade removed from that.
Yeah.
Why are we building a pay-per-view match over tits, ass, and the custody of a wrestler?
Yeah. It's a complete backstep looking at it from that perspective.
This match is being built no better than bra and panties matches of the Attitude Era.
On Velocity.
A little bit better than Velocity. At least SmackDown.
At least Heat.
Okay.
At least Heat.
I'll go Heat. That's fine.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Heat and velocity were just the same thing, just different color coding. What do you mean?
No difference.
Yes, but Velocity was at 11 o'clock at night. Heat was at least 7 o'clock in the evening.
That's
6 Central.
So different times. I wanted so bad for Mina Shirakawa to get this match, get the custody of Mariah May, have Mariah turn on Toni here. But even if all of that happens, Mina's just going to lose the belt at Wembley.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Yep.
You may as well let Toni run with it until Wembley.
Yep.
Where she can face her protege, who is going to win the women's Owen at Wembley Stadium.
Prediction or spoiler? You be the judge, folks. Continue.
She's going to win in the 0 hour, so why not?
Oh, jeez.
Continue, JJ.
I am so beside myself of this match because I am so anticipating it, looking forward to it. I'm going to call it with you guys.
Yes, you are.
But it's being so well booked for all the wrong reasons. That's I think the best way to say it. Because you've got the history, you've got the story, you've got Mariah with Mina in Stardom. You've got the fact that Mariah idolizes Toni, and that's why she went to Stardom with the first place. And she's the protege now, and Mina's come back, and now it's a love triangle, and there's boobs and ass involved. And it's like, how did we detour so much from the way that this story started? Huh?
Yeah.
My official pick for this is the timeless one.
Yes.
Because she has to get to Wembley with the title. I think everyone's going to agree with that. I am curious to hear if anybody has something they want to say in regards to my thoughts of how this match is being built.
No, you're 100% right.
Presentation aside, you're on the ball. Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm grateful the story isn't going to play out where the payoff is the main woman protagonist making out with a Samoan in drag like we had for Unforgiven with Bischoff, because that was just wrong.
Why did you have to remind me of that?
Because I was at that show and I had to live through it. And if I had to live through it, so do the rest of you, goddammit.
Believe that was in a bygone era, thank Christ.
HLA with the payoff of Rikishi and drag was just not how I expected that to turn.
Now, the best was when they had Looney Lane out there. And if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Much like Dad's earlier. Much like Dad's earlier, UPW, you'll thank us later. Looney Lane, you will thank us later. Little Nate, maybe not so much, but Looney Lane, you will thank us later. Sweet girl, I love her. God, I miss those people. Anyway, it is unfortunate because at the end of the day, Toni Storm is a damn good wrestler. Mina is a damn good wrestler. Mariah May has been a good wrestler. We just haven't seen a lot of it on TV because she's been about Mariah and her mates since she's been in AEW. It's one of those things that, we can sit here and bitch about it. The thing is, they all consented to the story playing out like it is. So it seems like they want to be doing it this way. And it seems like they're okay with the Mercedes and Stephanie match being the wrestling match for the women's division, which, okay, that's fine for now. But what about Wembley? What about, where do you go from here unless you completely have Toni just obliterate Mina with Mariah's help?
Or in front of Mariah, and Mariah just watches on from afar, and she watches in distress as her former sensei literally is obliterated by her current teacher that has endorsed her as her protege. From Rose Gold Forever to bosom buddies together, if you watch the exclusives like I have on Collision. And for those that don't know, let me bring it back into wrestling for a little bit before we go to James, then JJ, I saw you. Again, there's a lot of history here. It's truly the rise of stars through stardom. Toni Storm, originally SWA Stardom World Association champion for one of the longest runs during that title's existence before it was retired, and the IWGP Women's Championship was a thing. Of course, came over to the UK, was one of the pioneers after the Mae Young tournament for NXT UK. Found a way for a moment in WWE, then almost lost her passion and was restored in AEW. Mina Shirakawa, formerly an idol, a dancer, now one of the most prolific workers in the entire Stardom ecosystem and roster. Now the leader, no longer Club Venus, co-leader alongside Micah, the World of Stardom champion with Exodus Nexus Venus. And again, Mariah May, when she arrived, she was part of Mina Shirakawa's, basically standing out on her own. She was originally part of Cosmic Angels underneath Tam Nakano and wanted to start her own faction and started Club Venus, and Mariah May was her protege. It was through Mariah May and Stardom and Mina Shirakawa that they were able to become the Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Champions for 99 days, and they were known as Rose Gold. Together forever, as they were talking about. But of course, Mariah May made her way over to the States, and ever since being part of the Timeless Entourage, Mariah May has had nothing but a rise to stardom in front of everybody's eyes. Evil glamour never looked so beautiful, according to people. And definitely one of the most well-founded wrestlers on the ever-growing potential, the AEW women's roster. Now the fact she's involved in the Owen and we got the championship implications, but the fact of the matter that the winners of the Owens get to challenge for the world championships in Willie Stam. For those that don't know, Mariah May, she's British. It just feels perfect for me to see that homecoming for two people known to rise through their own stardom in the industry through the UK to literally culminate together for AEW's richest prize in what feels like the final act of one of the longest running feature presentations in the AEW ecosystems. And Toni Storm's been one of the most prolific, if not the most prolific champion in the AEW ecosystem. She's been the champion, believe it or not, guys, since Full Gear. And she's overcome the likes of Riho, Hikaru Shida, Deonna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa, just to name a few. Not to mention Serena Deeb, which truly proves she still can wrestle with the best and still can prove that she is the best. For the first time, I think we're finally not going to see just black and white from Toni Storm. We're going to see red in rage after what happened with Mina Shirakawa braining Mariah May with a champagne bottle. It just feels like, for me, the underlying story here, and again, I'll say it once, I'll say it 250,000 times. Predictability in professional wrestling is not a bad thing. Damn it. And this is going to be one of those matches that I'm going to look towards what the aftermath's going to be as we look at Mariah May's run through the Owen, if it doesn't abruptly end, courtesy of Saraya. I gotta consider Timeless Toni Storm winning here, to the point I respect the character. I respect what Toni Storm's done with this division and with this championship. And for her to have the biggest over-the-top entrance, with not Joe Rivers talking about her, but Nadia McGuinness endorsing her all the way down that entranceway to Wembley Stadium, and culminating with Mariah May overcoming her teacher, talk about a perfect story and creation of a new top star in AEW's women's division. For that to happen, Toni Storm has to retain. There is so much wrestling going on in this match beyond the story. That's why this is my second most anticipated match of the whole night. But yeah, I got Timeless Toni Storm retaining as well. James, go ahead. Then we'll go to JJ and we'll move on, because I'm pretty sure, Chris, you agree as well, because I never saw your
Well, I think he did raise his hand at some point, but I don't know.
No, it's okay, because I just wanted to piggyback on what James said on the last match. You know, he thinks that the Mercedes match is going to be match of the night. I think it's going to be this one.
I love the fact we're figuring there's more than one match of the night.
I think that they've used the sex to get the eyes on the match, and then they're going to get in there and just deliver a fucking banger.
Oh, of course they will. Yeah.
Go ahead, James.
But that's where I have a whole different take on this. I think, number one, first and foremost, the fact is, and I've always been of two minds of this. I just kind of had that gimmick go, you know, like I've been more gimmicky with it, but I've always said, as if you have sex appeal and you can wrestle, first off, you have to wrestle. Period. Bottom line. If you can wrestle, you want to have sex appeal, cool. You want to be like an Asia Kong, cool. As long as there's variety, cool. I like variety. Not everybody has to be the same. Not everybody needs to be the same. But I'm glad that we're at that point now, especially in the AEW women's roster. I think in all women's wrestling now, where we have a lot of that variety now, including the sex appeal type of characters back, which I don't disagree with having. I never have disagreed with having. I disagree with it being the centerpiece of an entire division.
Same.
Which it was for way too goddamn long. And so much that it seemed like it was forced.
Yeah, I wonder why he'd be saying that in 2024.
But so long as everybody's consenting to it, fuck it. Honestly, go full in with it, ladies. Hey, you know what? We had the HLA back in 2002. Here's my joke for it. The Motorboat Trio. Book it, AEW. Do it.
Like the Samurai made Motorboat of legit later Hirsch out of nowhere on Collision. I actually understand that reference, and we also are in June still, so actually that sounds normal. So there you go.
We're coming up to Bolt month soon, so makes all the sense in the world.
Suppose that's fair. All right. Well, that being said, before we close the running credits on this match, JJ, any last spots to add, or are we good here, bros?
We're good on this one.
All
Thank
right.
you for allowing me the opportunity to say what I needed to say on this one.
Absolutely, man. That's what I do. All right. Well, again, I hope everyone's enjoyed the presentation so far. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. We do this for all the biggest shows across all the companies here in wrestling, in and out of WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor, AEW, and of course TNA. Just a little bit of superbly. We'll, of course, be back here with Sid predicting for WWE Money in the Bank, NXT Heatwave, TNA Slammiversary, Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, and the next time AEW, of course, pay-per-view wise predictions coverage here. It will be, of course, all in Wembley Stadium. That being said, please remain hashtag #SpoilerFree as we've now crossed over into the second hour of our presentation here. And I know Rampage is going on right now, so please remain hashtag #SpoilerFree. You West Coast is about that SmackDown. Again, please remain hashtag #SpoilerFree. Hope you enjoyed everything. And again, prediction form will be live here after this presentation concludes. But without further ado, we've had a lot of fun talk, a lot of shenanigans galore, and some unique conversation. And I imagine some unique Googling, you silly little fool. But that being said, let's go ahead and get right into our main event of this pay-per-view. In whose house?
Run's house.
Damn it, JJ.
Run's house.
Well,
I'm old school. You've never heard Run's House by Run
I know
DMC?
I know Run DMC.
Now, you know what?
I'm just saying, I went literal with it. I don't want to run in the house. I was always told don't
That's
run
just
in the
how
house.
old I am, man. Whose house? Run's house.
Well, to be fair, he probably knows Run DMC.
He can run to the house and throw him with scissors.
Let's be honest. He's the hip hop aficionado. That's probably where he fucking got it.
He's the mogul. He's the realist. He's a guy that's literally the leader now of two worlds, wrestling and entertainment. He's said it verbatim himself, and this is Will Ospreay's biggest chance. And I don't mind people doing that because garments. All right, enough of that. Is the AEW World Championship on the line as Swerve Strickland defends the... Oh, good Lord. Everyone, you know what? Fuck it. Everyone's going to be doing it during the freaking thing, so I might as well just get it out of the way now. And shoot, I'm mixed, so it doesn't matter whether you're black or white if you're doing it. Anyway, it's first going to defend the AEW World Championship against the Billy Gold himself, Will Ospreay, the All Elite Bruv, the current AEW International Champion. Of course, you know Will Ospreay earned this opportunity after that crazy Casino gauntlet match where, again, he outlasted the field, and that seems to be his special in AEW, winning both now in a row. Of course, the first one allowed him to win the AEW National Championship from Roderick Strong. And also, of course, we have him winning the second one that allowed him to get this opportunity. There's a lot of underlying history here. Of course, these two literally have faced each other before in a different lifestyle. And, of course, now it's Will Ospreay's biggest chance ever as he's in his first ever pay-per-view main event. Big G, good to see you, by the way. Shout out to the baller, of course, the multiverse of me and the baller of No DQ. Oh, and happy birthday, by the way, Walter Cruz. Shout out to the Racing Wrestling. Hope you're
yes,
enjoying your
happy
day,
birthday, brother. Yes.
So, guys, let's think about this. Big pressure on the rise for both men here, to say the least. Swerve Strickland, again, who literally wants to take AEW to that next echelon, saying that we are creating a dynasty here, where he came to fruition at Dynasty. Sacrificed everything, relationships, family, bodies, period. Nothing matters more to Swerve Strickland than this talent. He will do anything possible to hold on to it and his position. Why, for the longest time, he felt like a footnote in this entire wrestling business. And then you got Will Ospreay, who's been on the most prolific runs of his life since last year Forbidden Door, when, again, you and I lost our shit, James, when we caught him in Kenny Omega, and he nearly killed Kenny Omega with the Tiger Driver 91. And, of course, he elevated the action ever since the point now he signs all the contract here in January and goes in here undefeated. Now, I don't want to say this is cut and dry because there's underlying factors here. Where does MJF come into play for either of these men? He confronted Swerve backstage at one point, and he called out Will Ospreay. Daniel Garcia's in the middle of all this. Does he get to face both men, either man? Does he maybe one day confront Swerve Strickland? With how far Swerve's willing to go to make things personal in his favor, whether it's against him and Adam Page or Samoa Joe, now calling out Will Ospreay's wife and his child. Damn. And Will Ospreay saying that he doesn't need anybody to beat him. He doesn't need Don Callis or the family. Considering last year's Forbidden Door, it took Don Callis and a screwdriver assist to help along the way to beat Kenny Omega. Kyle Fletcher, a young Will Ospreay on the rise with one of the most closest relationships with Will Ospreay, literally living with the man. It's got to be torn here. And it's not the first time Don Callis screwdriver somebody over that didn't follow his invisible hand plan. But also, does Will Ospreay have the killer instinct? Is he willing to go further than what Strickland's willing to do? Could it take the Tiger Driver 91, which every time since Bryan Danielson at Dynasty, he's hesitated to use? Bottom line, what does it take for one of these two men to leave the AEW World Champion? And does Will Ospreay suffer his first loss in All Elite Wrestling? That's the question. Yep, starting with you.
Yes, he takes his first loss in All Elite Wrestling. It'll be a hell of a match. There's no way around it. It'll be the men's match of the night, I dare say. Because I think ladder match is going to be too much of a train wreck to call it match of the night, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Bryan and Shingo has the capability of doing that, but I think this match with all the story behind it's also going to deliver. I hate to say Will Ospreay lose, but there's more marquee opportunity with them being separate champions and not Ospreay being a double champion. I'd rather see Swerve defend against Max. I'd even rather, God, Lord forgive me for saying this, I'd rather see Hangman challenge Swerve for the championship just to see what kind of screw job they'd throw at us. I like Will a lot. He's one of those MJF generational talents. The guy's that damn good.
Yep.
But I don't think he's tenured enough in AEW to be the world champion yet. And people are going to say, "Oh, well, you know," it's like, no, I bitched about Mercedes being champion 3 matches in, 2 champions. So I did not agree with that. So fuck off if you think that. I think it would be silly to give him the international championship only to have him win the world championship. And it's like, why do I need this other one then? If he defends the international championship after Sunday, loses it, and if he does end up being the wild card next Wednesday, if he loses Sunday, which I think he will, there's a better way for him to get back to the championship. Is it going to be cheap? Is it going to be, cookie cutter or predictable? Yes, it absolutely will. But I don't necessarily see a problem with that, other than I firmly believe MJF should be in the main event at Wembley. But we're talking about Sunday, and prediction bottom line is Swerve retains the championship.
Fair. James, as you know, Swerve Strickland and him and Adam Page, it literally was the robbery that defined Swerve Strickland to his rise in AEW across 2 of the most damnedest matches we've ever seen, including last year Full Gear. And remember, Heyman made a promise. He would rather die than see Swerve Strickland as champion. So much to the point, he literally cost the man any chance to continue to fight for it at Revolution. So that being said, do you think maybe this is the point where Heyman comes in afterwards to see Swerve still holding this title, buckshot Lyric him, and we start rolling towards maybe that one-on-one encounter for the championship? But what's your thoughts on this?
Yes, I think Swerve retains, and if that happens, then Hangman's winning the Owen. I truly think that's where we're going. It sucks, but I think I think Jeff has a major point. I don't think Ospreay has enough tenure to win the world title. It has nothing to do with, is he the best wrestler in the damn world? Right behind MJF's 1A with him, like 1A, 1B.
Best is always subjective, and we don't condone necessarily those endorsed by star ratings by certain journalists. But
but even with that being the case, I'm going to be real. There is a case for him, even with those star ratings. Anybody could give him a 5-star rating, but he's actually earned them. Same with MJF. Every time he steps in the ring, quite honestly, what Jeff said. Generational talents in the ring, on the mic. These are the 2 stars of the company, period.
No.
But it's too early for Ospreay to win it. They need to establish that international title. I can't think of a better way to do that than for MJF and him to go at it for that belt.
Yeah.
Because the way I see that is, this is your 3 matches at Wembley. Kazuchika Okada versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the Continental title. Then you have Ospreay and MJF for the international title. And you have Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page in a lights out match for the world title.
Oh, dear God.
And a grudge ender, probably. Right?
So lights out. I mean, how much further do you go after a Texas death match? Lights out. I mean, oh, dear.
That's the only other way.
Tony, that's JHebert95 on Twitter. Reach out for those royalty checks.
I have a PayPal, Tony. Pay me there, please.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay you guys. Cut it out.
No, he just booked the thinnest to Wembley. Fuck that. Send him the goddamn money, Tony.
I mean, that's a triple main event that doesn't involve a slot machine.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, listen, I can book.
I mean, and again, Mariah May, timeless Toni Storm. Just saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah. There's your women's world title match right there, and Mercedes against give her any goddamn buddy in the roster.
I will say, as predictable as this Forbidden Door is definitely leaving a great All In, probably even better than the first one. I'll be real.
We were wondering if the sequel can surpass the pilot, and this one very well has good opportunity to do so.
You have to remember, All In last year had all the potential in the world. And what is the enduring memory? CM Punk, his back to the audience, giving the Roman Reigns sign with that belt over his shoulder.
Yep.
And all the bullshit that was tied in with it. Not the unbelievable match between Max and Cole, excuse me. Not the unbelievable undercard. Not Jericho's fucking literally lightning strikes him, he's good moment, because he literally did the Freddie Mercury thing, and then he wrestled.
Yep.
Everybody talks about
Ospreay.
Against Will Ospreay, for fuck's sake.
And Saraya, of course, proven everybody.
Yeah. The enduring memory of All In, AEW's version, the non-independent version is CM Punk and the bullshit.
Which
so
sucks.
this show has to.
It's going to surpass it because of that bullshit. It should.
And this show, like you said, is the perfect lead-in, because even with the minimal amount of story in most of the matches, there is the potential to branch off and just write a fucking epic novel from here to August 25th.
Especially with these two men regarding the World Championship, Will Ospreay and his mentality, whether or not he still needs the defender, wants to be with the family. Does he have the killer instinct? And what the hell is Swerve Strickland willing to do after this? And who else is going to dare oppose this man and his mogul embassy establishment and his dynasty as the AEW World Champion? There's a lot that comes out of just this match alone, and it's our main event.
As that should be. There should be story and intrigue and what the hell happens next for your World Championship bout.
Yeah, with both men and the title. I think that's some crazy shit. That being said,
the only worry I have is that if it goes that way, I'm worried Keith Lee is going to screw Swerve to give Hangman the title. That's my only fucking if he's cleared by then.
Nah.
Right, exactly.
About to say, one, he needs to be cleared, and two, JJ, we still need Keith Lee versus Strickland one-on-one. I would not mind seeing that shit for this championship at one of these pay-per-views in this fall season. I'm just saying. But what's your thoughts on all this? And what do you think's next for the Mogul and the Bruv?
We talked a little bit about this on the impromptu.
Oh yeah.
I smell dirty finish. I smell disqualification, or I smell a time limit draw.
60 minutes. Just about
I
like,
don't
this match should
think
be 60
either
minutes.
man gets a clean 1, 2, 3.
Mm.
Mm,
And I know that's bold,
it is bold.
but Tony Khan likes his long shows.
3 hour per
So
day.
for a 60-minute time limit draw is not out of the question.
Not since Dominion 2017 has that been such a prolific cliffhanger towards an epic conclusion. I'll leer you later. But continue.
And you got to figure we don't know if Swerve can do it. We know Ospreay can do it.
Yep, he survived 63 minutes inside a dog cage of hell against the Bullet Club War Dogs before he was excluded from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
But can Swerve go an hour with the All Elite bro, no less?
It's not the first thing I
Somebody who's known for taking it to the limit. It's an interesting dilemma here because Swerve doesn't need the international title. Ospreay isn't ready for the world title. I don't give a fuck what y'all conjuring in your witch's brew. If Hangman Adam Page is the wild card, the Elite are costing him the match and Jeff Jarrett is winning. Jeff Jarrett is going to the finals at Wembley, to the finals of the Owen in Calgary. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. They don't make that 10-minute video package. Shake your head all the fuck you want, Chris.
Whoa!
They don't make that 10-minute video package and job him out in the opening round match.
Mm.
He took it down.
On the 25th anniversary of Owen's passing.
This man
You
about to
don't
do
do
some
that
passion.
shit. I'm sorry. You can make me believe that he can lose in the finals. But to job him out first round after that shit is garbage booking.
The only way that works is if they're gonna do something with it. Like if they're gonna send him on this last hurrah of his career run where he's just trying to avenge everything and everyone, then it makes sense. Other than that, literally jobbing him out, and by jobbing out I say that's all we get out of it. I usually don't let the reins off this much. If they do that to Jeff on Wednesday, I will sit back and just let the group of you just railroad that company for 4 hours. I don't care.
I will be sure to call an intermission as Jeff might literally go.
It's one of those, and the two of you in the top row know I have tried very hard to not let things get as sideways as they got when I went on my little Twitter twat rampage against Tony.
Right.
But I would not be surprised if they did exactly that, JJ, that they jobbed Jeff out. If the 10-minute release was just a red herring. I don't like it. I don't think they should do it. I think he should at least win his first match.
I agree.
At the very, very, very least. But it wouldn't surprise me a damn bit if they didn't. Just to be those guys.
I give Tony a lot of shit for a lot of things, and justified. But if there's one thing that Tony has showed me in the time that I've watched AEW is he's about making moments. He's about heartfelt moments. And for me, and I've talked about this with Noah, I think I've talked about it with Jeff. I don't know if you were there, James. And I know it sounds crazy because of the place that Jeff Jarrett holds this day and age. But for me, there is no greater moment than Jeff Jarrett winning the Owen in Calgary, being presented that trophy and that belt by Dr. Martha Hart, the widow of his best friend and former tag team champion partner. And then Jeff Jarrett getting on the mic a la Austin 3:16 and pulling it was never about Wembley for me. It was about this moment right here. I assume the finals he would be against Bryan. Bryan, Wembley is your moment. I bestow that opportunity upon you. Now you've created two heartfelt, memorable moments in one shot. Jarrett gets that last hurrah that WWE screwed him on by not turning him face in the wake of Owen's passing. And Danielson wins the title in Wembley before losing it at Wrestle Dream.
So, to everybody out there
royalty
watching,
checks can be sent to...
No, not even that. Not even that.
But that is how you create a memorable moment. And it's something that Toni is good at in certain instances, but totally shits the bed on in others.
Yeah. That's my worry there. Now, if it plays out like JJ laid out, I encourage everybody here and everybody watching to go buy stock in Kleenex, because if I hear Bryan Danielson walk to the ring at using Final Countdown in Wembley, I'm going to be bawling like a goddamn parent at a graduation.
Please.
See,
and if he wins,
watching him walk down to Wembley to that probably wouldn't hit me. Having him walk out in Washington, his home, for his final match to that.
As the champion.
With Aubrey as the referee.
As the champion, that's going to be the moment.
And Aubrey, one last hug. The hug from retirement to the hug of permanent conclusion.
I apologize for snapping at you the way I did, Chris, but a lot of people just have this image and this notion of Jeff Jarrett, and it eats me to shit this day and age.
No, it does. Same here.
Jeff Jarrett doesn't get near the fucking credit he deserves. Even Noah has softened on him because of that interview.
Yeah.
Noah wants him to go to the finals.
At least
whether he wins or loses is irrelevant.
Yeah.
That interview sold Noah on the fact that he should get to the finals for that moment.
And keep in mind, JJ, we just got to be plain and simple. If Jeff Jarrett makes it to the semifinals, he has Switchblade Jay White waiting for him as Jay White beat Ray Phoenix.
True.
That's a mental game right there. The ultimate counterpuncher versus one of the most experienced individuals in the pro wrestling business.
I will say that so Wrestle Dream is for sure in up in the Washington area.
I'm in Washington.
Okay. I've had my parents tell me, put down what you want on your list of what you have to have or want or whatever for gifts. Bryan Danielson wins that world title in Wembley. Some of us are going to go to fucking Washington, because I'll be damned if I miss Bryan's last match.
Again.
Yeah. I know you're not watching She Who Sits, but I know.
All right. Well, trying to avoid doing a fancy booking podcast on space moment. Well, I know. I love though. That's what I do. It's every day putting out that people, go on their, dissertations, and it's a passion dissertation. I absolutely love it. That's what it's about. Being friends with the wrestling fan, enjoying wrestling, and really looking at wrestling in the highest degree. Even in a match that looks like it could be predictable, but still could have so much aftermath that it's actually unpredictable in the long-term storytelling. That being said, as we close this thing out, again, Chris, think about the implications. Will Ospreay, does he still be on the same page with the family? Does he have that killer instinct? Does he resort to the Tiger Driver 91? Does Don Callis push him to try and do it? Does he say no? And if Swerve Strickland wins here, is it Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson potentially in Wembley? And is that Bryan Danielson's moment? if Swerve doesn't win here, does Swerve ever bounce back from this, considering how far he was willing to go to get to here to establish this dynasty? It's for yours, Chris. Finish this thing out. Who leaves the AEW World Championship?
Well, I'm like torn about this match. I love both Swerve and my buddy, my boy, Will Ospreay. I'm a huge Will Ospreay fan.
How's everybody here?
And I will always be a Will Ospreay fan until the day I die. As I've been reading, as I've been listening to you guys, JJ, I do accept your apology, and we're good. So don't worry about anything.
Good.
As far as this match goes, I've been fantasizing, I've been booking. If Swerve retains and the wild card is Hangman Adam Page, Hangman has never defeated Swerve Strickland before.
That's true.
And that is going to mean, does Hangman finally beat Swerve? Hangman brings the AEW World Championship to the Elite at the end of Wembley Stadium, and to finally say that Hangman Adam Page is fully a heel and he's with the Elite and they can drip in all the gold that they want. If Will Ospreay wins the championship here, we could see Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page. But I think if Bryan Danielson does win the Owen, we could be on a verge on a rematch with Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay for Wembley Stadium
from Dynasty.
And that could be Bryan Danielson beating Will Ospreay for the championship. But I'm seeing Will Ospreay be a long world championship reign. And I don't want him to lose that early in his run. So I came to conclusion. I have until Sunday to
6
make
p.m.
make everything final. For this video alone, sorry, Will, but you always going to be my bro. I think I got Swerve Strickland retaining the AEW World Champion on Sunday. And if it's against Hangman Adam Page, Hangman's going to defeat him at Wembley. If it's Bryan, thank you for all the memories. And you go out on top as champion in Wembley.
There you have it. Everyone's going with Swerve Strickland still ruling the house, but it sounds like the house comes crumbling down in Wembley Stadium, whether it's the American Dragon, Jeff Jarrett, if, lightning strikes the weirdest place on earth, or Heyman Adam Page. But regardless, we're not seeing Will Ospreay carry 2 worlds yet, per Swerve Strickland's words, verbatim. And I'm sure everything's going to change for the All Elite Bruv after he suffers his first loss since signing to All Elite Wrestling back in January.
I was going to say, I'm shocked Chris didn't say his famous catchphrase. It's going to be a great match. This would be the match to do it, to be fair. I mean, work where it was.
I mean, about to say, how many matches do we know? How many matches do we say are going to be great? We got this. We got the Women's World Championship. We got the TBS Championship. We got Shingo Takagi and Bryan Danielson. That's already 4 of the 12 matches overall on this card. You got enough.
If only by match length alone, they'll be shorter than others, but I don't think there's going to be a bad match on the show.
No.
As per usual.
We talked about before, no matter what we think about Madman, Tony Khan behind the pen, AEW pay-per-views do not miss.
No.
Even Ring of Honor.
They just go long.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes,
That's what
do.
That's what DVR, the pause button, and naps were made for, boys and girls.
Yes.
Some
And
of us.
also caffeine, and of course, I went to sleep. I have no sleep. I will survive. I'm not going to die.
By the way, remind me Sunday. There's a new Mountain Dew flavor I hadn't heard of till we picked it up at the store for the kiddo. So when we go on Sunday, I'll show you the bottle. I'll see if you've tried it or not yet.
I still have to go to Spree because I think there's another flavor there too. I think it's a Baja type flavor, so maybe it's the same flavor.
Well, if it's Baja Blast, they've had that out for a while. That used to be
no. There's other brands of Baja, but we're not. But,
okay.
Again, we're not brought to you. We're not brought to us by Mountain Dew. Despite the fact I've been drinking.
But we'll totally take the sponsorship if y'all want to give it to us, Mountain Dew.
You're right. Me endorsed by Mountain Dew. That'll be the freaking day.
Dude, you drink enough that they might as well sponsor your ass at this point.
I drink other stuff. Give me a break.
Not during the wrestling watch-alongs.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. Well, that being said, guys, great job again, folks. What are your predictions, your overall outlook on this third installment of AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door? Now with added partners AAA, CMLL, and Stardom. What's your outlook for the AEW World Championship? The outlook for the Owen, Wembley Stadium. Not to mention, within all this, we also just kind of grazed over this. Swerve Strickland's already prime target for the opposition for blood and guts. So just keep that also in mind. To the point of the whole Heyman and Page being possibly with the Elite or not against the Elite. Can Swerve and Heyman coexist against a common enemy for a common goal? Where Heyman said he was trying to fight for the company to keep it away from CM Punk. He and Swerve, if nothing else, they are both AEW. Can Heyman actually respect Swerve enough for that? That's a whole different conversation for another day. But I think that being said, I think that will conclude this edition of the first time crossover. It's media, it's my brand. Sleep Predicting. So thank y'all for tuning in. Let's go around, chill, and play. And everybody have fun do. And again, stay tuned for the forum shortly once this concludes. Chris, been an absolute pleasure. Appreciate you always. Again, I already promote everything, so just simply do your plug, man. I know you're tired. I know you're ready to go watch SmackDown Rampage and get ready for work tomorrow. But go ahead and plug where people can promote and find you.
Well, I want to thank all you guys for allowing me to be on tonight for simply predicting AEW Forbidden Door. I think you have my graphics, so you could put it up.
Let's talk about because it's crossover. We got to update the graphics again. This is the first, I think, an ongoing thing. Jeff, this was beautiful, by the way. Thank you, brother.
Where everybody could find me at is my Instagram. CMROTZ_1316.
Take note of that.
My Facebook is Christopher Rods. My X account is CRods24. Had a good time with you guys. If you guys are celebrating the 4th of July early this weekend, have a safe and blessed weekend. And also, let's enjoy AEW Forbidden Door on Sunday. And always say yeah to NoDQ.com.
Yeah, and that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life.
Well, no, I'll say yeah to them because they're too much of a punks to come on Family Feud against us in a couple weeks. So I'll keep saying yeah until they actually accept my challenge.
A little bit of foreshadowing, cheap plug for a different time and shenanigans showcase, but I admire that. And again, Chris, appreciate you always, man. And again, if you have to go GTS, it's completely fine. You're pretty much done for the night, my friend.
Good night, sweet friends. It's been wonderful having you here.
Oh, good grief almighty.
I don't know. I'm whatever at this point.
That's fair. Well, James, again, we got a lot of fun ahead of us this Sunday. I do, Chris. Appreciate you. And then there was 4.
This was background showing now you actually used our open mic night room and actually used the plugs.
Well, considering that we're about to close the curtain on this Jump Nation Network presentation, where I think we've basically established now Sleep Predicting has crossed over into the Jump Nation Network, then now and forever. James, been a pleasure as always, man. Looking forward to calling pretty much all this with you, but go ahead and plug your stuff, bro.
Well, you can find me.
Not with the voice.
Why?
For once, being normal, because it's not open mic night.
That's right.
That's fair. Okay.
Thank you.
You can find me on YouTube and Twitter at jhebertside95 and also on Facebook at James Hebert if you want to add me and talk about the wrestling and or any other nonsense. So
Sorry.
go ahead and do that.
The
I do
nonsense.
really cool, dumb
He's like Bret Hart. Talk about the SummerSlam. Talk about the WCW.
Talk about the blank.
Talk about the wrestling.
So yeah, be on the lookout. I thought I was going to release a Jay Hebert side of things, but I do plan on releasing one later this week. Update on that one soon to be had. Check out the Gary Hebert trailers, part 1, which is the one we air on open mic nights primarily, and also part 2, which is his greatest speech that I've ever heard him speak out. And it was to the number 1 team in his state. And Matty Laws called it the best speech you will hear in sports. He really enjoyed it. And that's from a guy who has barely done stuff with me. So go ahead and check that out. We can't air it here because, copyright thing and shit. But,
and
go check
when he said that it was part 2, not hack 2. All right. There's a difference.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, we were on that during the show with the twins for like a half hour. So I'm like, fuck, we're not all this drunk. Can we move on, please?
I was saying, you're confident enough to say.
Hey, are you telling me Brie and Nikki, Bella are doing
they weren't doing it themselves. It was brought up in a conversation with the Lawrence brothers, and it's like, I just want to go home.
Oh
Lord. And
far too much whoa for me.
This happens when you consume alcohol, folks.
I'm so glad it was. I wish though it was Brie and Nikki doing that, because that would have been the funniest visual if they were doing that.
If I could have found a way to record had they done it, we wouldn't have to do a single bit of work ever again. We could make money off that alone the rest of our day.
Yeah, guys,
anyway.
guess what Nikki and Brie did?
Anyway. Well, JJ,
poor Noah.
Yeah, you know what, JJ? I've already hosted 2 panels. I moderated 2 night shenanigans. You, God bless you, are the brainchild that deals with the weekly Saturday night shenanigans. But besides that, you also do a lot of stuff, and I am looking forward to calling definitely the Timeless match with you.
Yes.
But go ahead and plug and promote where people can find you.
Well, you can find me on Instagram, Renegade JJ Williams, on Twitter, ROWJJ Williams, YouTube, Casa D18 Studios. All kinds of good stuff to follow me on and find with me.
May I show your new graphics that you debuted
No,
earlier?
you may not.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
This isn't the graphic you saw here. Never mind.
I didn't see nothing.
Where am I going here?
Fair enough. I mean, again, it's the plugs.
It's all black. No background.
Then speaking of which, again, well, Jeff, again, a first of what's to follow most definitely with Simply Predicting. It's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. Let's go ahead and plug and promote you and what the Multiverse of Mia has in store, at least this weekend coming up too.
Please also go back and watch yesterday's Jack of All Trades. Such a fun, almost 3 hours, which is bananas for this show. But yeah, we went 3 hours between the actual game show parts and the BSing with the 4 of us. It was a lot of and BSing with the chat room. The chat room was hot yesterday. It was good. But yeah, we had fun doing that. So go back and watch on demand on Greg's channel, on my channel. Go back and watch Dad's from earlier. We did our own booking of Forbidden Door, both of us, separate lists. So go back and watch that on the Casa and the Jeff Meacham Network. Tune in tomorrow.
Let us know which version of Forbidden Door you'd rather watch. Jeff's version, my version, or the Tony Khan presented version?
Most definitely will during our pre-0 hour show. I'm looking forward to watch that tomorrow. Continue.
I'd rather watch JJ just mix my matches in because they were both pretty good, but JJ's was better. Anyway, open mic night as normal as that gets. Watch that tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, we open the Forbidden Door Sunday night, June 30th. That will be corrected on the graphic later, 6 p.m. Eastern with our pre-show, 3 p.m. Pacific. That'll be across the Multiverse of Media, as well our coverage of Beach Break in Chicago, because, yeah, there's a lot of beaches in Chicago. We'll be live during Shark Week, no less.
Is there a beach in Chicago?
No.
Along the Chicago River, there should be a beach because there's so many remnants of bodies, not to mention Trump victims. Anyway, Anyway, Shark Week will present Beach Break from AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, and then, of course, we've got all of this shit right here after that. So it's all the things.
God. And that's not even accurate because that doesn't have Beach Break in it.
No, that's what I'm saying. After Beach Break is all this shit.
For the time
Beach Break is before all that shit.
For the time being, until we learn more about the fall schedule. Fair enough.
And that's the thing. That's not even Survivor Series being announced. That's not even Bound for Glory being confirmed as happening in what day in October.
No.
That's not including whatever the NWA, if they actually do a pay-per-view.
Right.
But yeah, it's gonna be a continual, never-ending story. No, not the horrible thing with the bad scene that I traumatized people
We're
with.
not singing that song.
I am not singing that song because we'll be on the air forever. But we will continue We Are Gonna Die tour until We Are Gonna Die. So there you go.
I just started grooving to the song in my head.
Yeah, that did I, and I hate myself for it.
Turn around.
Stop it.
Yes. And for once, unless I'm mistaken, I'll be back on Monday.
Hey.
Mikey will be on Tuesday, and Greg will be on Wednesday as usual. So we're actually back to a semi-normal schedule. Plus, two Simply Ridiculous next week. Time and date to be determined.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And next Sunday we could see.
No.
Yes.
No. Damn it. No.
That's what we need. That's what we need. We need to get the tag belts on Mr. Chase and Duke. We need to get the money raised, and we need to get Thea Hale with the women's championship. And maybe we'll have a fully immersed Noah Foster in. There you go. In Chase U.
No.
That shirt will be him in his sport coat with his Chase U shirt underneath.
No.
He'll be the executive vice president of Chase Universe.
The hell with that.
And then and then Noah's theme song will be "Put his foot inside his mouth." Noah is part of Chase U.
Dun, dun, dun.
Even on my own show, I'm a victim of freaking selling of my dignity.
I parodied the song and he appeared. Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you guys. And again, folks, this is what I moderate. So this is what happens when I'm in the hot seat, considering I've been watching the chase all day from the UK, Australia, and America.
He almost been watching Chase U all day.
He almost He's a closet fan. I'm telling you.
Words in my mouth. Shoot. Chase U wouldn't be able to survive one question against Mark Levesque. Anyway, that being said, I said what I said.
That's probably true, actually.
It is valid. That guy's crazy.
Yeah. And so is James Holzhauser, but that's a whole different conversation.
That dude's legit smart as fuck, though.
The Ken Jennings, Brad Rudder, the Queen, the Buzzsaw, the Stunner, the Lightning, all of them are. The Chase, again, the phenomenal minds of just trivia and general knowledge. It's really incredible seeing those guys work, gals and gals work together, especially against Beat the Chasers. Cheap plugs. Again, this is what I've been watching, but I'm not watching wrestling or sleep. I actually watch game shows internationally and domestically, primarily trivia ones. That's why I've been on the Chase binge all day. Thank you, working from home. And again, folks, thank you all for tuning in. Again, the next time we have Simply Predicting here, I'll be moderating alongside maybe these gentlemen, maybe some of the others, maybe the Dominguez's, maybe Walter, maybe Big G, maybe Josh Mansfield. Anybody's welcome. You have a conscious mind, a kind spirit, and an open, thought process for all things wrestling and Simply Predicting. Maybe King, who was in the chat. Again, King, you're welcome anytime on this or even open mic night. Speaking of,
need to bring King back.
There's too much madness.
We need to book Maven and then bring King back and just watch the insanity ensue.
Man, don't.
James and King on the same show will drive you all back to YouTube purgatory. I will make sure that happens.
The problem is, Jeff, you and Maven on the same show. That's just gonna go for an hour, and then you add King to the mix. You add King to the mix. Your chances of going under 3 hours drastically go down.
Okay, the episode of Open Mic Night that King was on was one of the shortest ones we've done in months.
Well,
I also wasn't there.
He also wasn't there, and also it's because we had a 5-hour show, so we said we're going to keep it short, and we didn't have much news that week.
And about to say, I think you also started an hour earlier than normal because you were just so fatigued.
That's fair.
That's 100% true.
We're covering Mission Pro that day. And again, congrats to Izzy, who again is one of the youngest champions now, alongside Billy Starks, who's 19 years old, the second youngest champion in Ring of Honor history next to Mark Briscoe when he first won the tag team titles. But again,
just some babies.
They're also young, right? Well, we're all young at heart, I'd like to think. That being said, again, folks, next time we're here with Simply Predicting. Again, WWE next week gives us 2 shows. We have Money in the Bank and NXT Heatwave. They ain't time to be determined here across Jimmy Dart Multiverse Media, so stay tuned for more on that on social media platforms. Again, follow me on the trend on YouTube if you choose, and then Foster 9016 for all things wrestling, child, of course, the entire W family on the trend social media platforms. Again, I monitor, I track, I love hosting and leading predictions and prediction leads, prediction league panels. You'll find the form for the All Elite League Forbidden Door again here shortly in the comments and on the community tab and on my social medias as well. And again, I endure and do all this madness, whether I call it, predict it, react to it, talk about it, engage in it, because I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling, damn it, who's only here to encourage you. There are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. Just fans love fans with passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and just do it live and enjoy professional wrestling. It's truly as simple as that.
And enjoy Chase U.
No, that place needs to be burned to the ground. But that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to comment, tell a friend. Again, hit the bell, those videos live on demand and the channels here at Multiverse of Media. Hit the subscribe button. Help us keep growing our YouTube community. I assure you our creative passion, our content. These people trying to sell my duty and annoy me and rile me up with things like that stupid graphic is not going to let up anytime soon.
That one?
Believe in Joe Hendry. Yes, believe in Joe Hendry. No, not that
Believe
one.
in Chase U.
No, damn it. Delete.
Dude, he's like Daniel Bryan. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
When Kevin Dunn quick cuts our back. Stop it.
Noah, in all seriousness, and Jeff, you're fired just like Kevin Dunn was.
Oh,
Noah, in all seriousness, why can we not believe in Joe Hendry and Chase U?
Because Joe Hendry is more believable than an unaccredited institution. Anyway.
Hey, I mean, think of it like this, though, Noah. If the crossover happens, then Joe Hendry could be the musically inclined teacher.
He could be the newest student of Chase U.
No.
Speaker, a guest lecturer, 250 pounds of pure motivation.
That's what I'm saying.
The answer to all life's problems.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You already have Tyler Bate,
Duke, and Thea.
Yeah.
And Ridge, tell me Ridge couldn't use 252 pounds of pure motivation.
I mean, yeah, and think about it like this, too. You already have Tyler Bate as their school counselor. You could have him as, like, the motivational speaker and music teacher. It's great.
Look at him. He's actually pondering this because it kind of makes sense. He just doesn't want to admit it.
That's the problem.
He just doesn't want to admit it.
I will never admit anything good about Chase U nor anybody enrolling into it. But that being said, I will say this. Keep trying, JJ.
Good about me. I enrolled in it. I'm an alumni.
don't you?
Hey, listen. Maybe we can have the ultimate crossover of Chase U versus Full Sail University in NXT. It makes all the sense in the world to me.
Look, you guys can try and invest all you want in Chase U. You'll be lucky to get more royalties and your checks back. All right. That being said, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I bid y'all now find that do. For Christopher Roth, for JJ Williams, for Jeff motherfucking Legion, for James Heber, for the entire professional wrestling community and City Predicting family. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you this Saturday for Open Mic Night, and then we're heading towards Forbidden Door for the Watch Along event. Until then, have a good night, folks.
Chase U versus Full.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.